Well, hello, everybody. Can you guys give me a mic check? Can you guys hear me okay? I'm just going to wait till you guys tell me if you guys can hear me okay. Valerie says, yes, she can hear me. Awesome. Okay. Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Good morning. What is it? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're at in this crazy world of ours. How's everyone doing? Hey, Sweet Pea. Hey, Dee. Well, welcome back, Dee. Are you here for the whole live? I hope so. I missed you. Let me scroll up and see who else is here today. Hi, Kelly Brown. How are you? Hi, Deb. Hi, Flower Child, Betsy, Jessica Sky, Dragon Hater 99. Do you hate dragons? Hi, Rita. How are you, love? Hi, Sammy. Always good to see you. Junie, Nikki, Jennifer. I'm just seeing. Hey, John. How's CC Cat doing today? Hey, Merritt. Belle. Let me scroll on up. TJ Cook. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Insanely Confused. How are you, love? I just love that name. Hi, Jessica. I'm just scrolling up, you guys. All right, let me get down. So you guys already know what we're going to be discussing today. Obviously, it's going to be summer wows. But just real quick before we do start, I have my door open. My young one, my little crazy. She stayed home from school today. She wasn't feeling good. She had a little fever last night. So this morning she didn't have fever, but I just thought, I'd keep her home today with me. So you might hear TV on and all that, but her dad's also here. So it's not like she's fending for herself. But when kids are sick, I don't know about you guys, but they always want mom, no matter what. Dad could be like, "Do you want water? Do you want this?" And they'll be like, yeah, "Mom, can you give me water?" And it's like, what? Your dad is asking. So just so you guys know, you might hear TV or something in the background, or I might, if you hear mom, I might have to just stop and go. Hi, new to your channel. Love your videos. Oh, thank you so much. Well, we got someone new here, you guys, so give her a big, big welcome. Let me highlight that comment. We always like new people here, so thank you for choosing my channel. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So you guys all know, so today we're going to be analyzing the interview rooms phone interview he did with with Donald. So I have all of my notes. I watched it. Well, when he went live, hi, All in Tanks, how are you? Yeah, right? They always just want mom. Dad could be right there and you're in the other room doing something and they will be like, Mom. So you're like, ugh. So you guys might hear mom. Hi, Tammy, how are you, love? Hi, Patty, how are you? Praying for this beautiful baby. Yes. Throw up some purple hearts for her, you guys. Let's throw up some purple hearts for her. Today could be the day. Today could be the day that they find her, and hoping they find her in good health and okay. I know we're going on 2 months, but today I have really good hope today. Hey, Heather, how are you, love? Heather, you changed your photo? Or is that the same one? No, that's a different one. I notice everything. So when Chris from the interview room did this live, I was already being emotional that day. It was just a lot, with these cases, it could be a lot. And crazy, I sent you a message to say, okay, Insanely, I'll look at it in a little bit. And then when Chris went live, I was in the chat and I was typing and I wasn't saying nothing mean or anything, but I felt like I was emotionally typing and I was like, yeah. So I turned it off. I didn't even watch it when he first did it. I said, you know what, family, let's go swimming. We barbecued. I grabbed a margarita and I just zoned out and had a good time with the family. And it was very much needed. So then and then of course I woke up at like 1:30, couldn't sleep. And so I started watching the rest of it. And then I watched it like twice. And you guys already know me. I did my notes. I got my notes, everything ready to go. So we're going to listen to that and we're going to have a discussion. I do need to link it in the description box for sure. Jennifer says, does anyone think that Dawn Wells is liking the attention a little too much? Well, he for sure can't stop talking. That's for sure. I think he had a new post even today on his Facebook. I didn't even check, but yeah. Just doing me. Hello, how are you today? I like that name. Just doing me. Hey, Demon Child. It's been so long since I've seen you in here. How have you been? I hope you've been enjoying life. Sammy says, yeah, he thinks he's liking the attention. Just doing me say yes, but it could be anxiety. Very true, Flower Child. Let me highlight that. That's a good comment. There's a lot of triggers if you're affected by CA, SA, or DV. That is so true, you guys. So thank you for that, Flower Child. For sure, there is. And I think that's why the other day I was triggered myself by some of the stuff. I'll be honest, I was triggered. So I think that's why I was also emotional that day. And I just needed to and I do want to thank you guys that I commented back to every single one of you that wrote something on the post where I put the two missing flyers, the one you see here of Summer, and then the one of the other 5-year-old, Michael Vaughn from Idaho. And I was like, my emotions are high. But I think I was just kind of triggered. I know I was triggered that day. I was. So thank you guys so much for commenting and all your kind words. I comment back to every single one of you. And I just want to thank you guys for that from the bottom of my heart. It meant a lot. I read all of them and I was like, oh, they're so amazing. My subs are so amazing. You guys are the best. Sugar Ant says, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster now. Right? Seriously. And the thing with this case, you guys, for me, and I'm sure many of you, why we continue talking about it is because there's so many different elements that keep coming out. The family keep talking, and then we notice just things that aren't adding up from this interview they did to that interview. They're giving you a little bit more information that they never gave in the very beginning. So it seems like they're changing the story up a little bit, which is, to me, red flag. It always is a red flag for me. So that's why we're still discussing this, because they're still giving us so much to talk about. Every day I wake up and I think today's going to be the day. Today's going to be the day. We're going on 2 months, you guys. And if you guys been with me since we first talked about this, which was June 17th was the first live, I think I say this every time I go live. I just can't believe we're still here without Summer. It's crazy. But this is a time where I'm thinking dad is coming back. Whatever they sent out with the phones and all that stuff, pings and stuff. We're going on 2 months. I'm thinking they should be getting stuff back by now. So we shall see. Yeah, I went back and I was looking to see and touch base with the TBIs, all their briefings they had done. They did, I believe it was the 16th, they did their first briefing with the sheriff. The 17th, they did one. The 17th, the 21st, and the 24th. And after the 24th, they stopped doing their briefing. And then the sheriff did, I think, like 2 where he's in his office and he's like sitting on his chair, but it was like really short thing. And it was pretty much just saying how social media is like interfering and stuff like that. But we haven't got anything. They've been very, very quiet with giving us anything. Yep, Sandra, correct. And that's one thing I said was I will continue, putting her beautiful little face on my community page. I would continue sharing it on my on my stories. If going live with you guys, talking, we need to continue putting her name, her face out there, because just because she's missing, she is not forgotten. And that's something that I told you guys I'm going to continue doing it. I would have bet. Let me see this comment. When a child goes missing within 2 minutes within their home, you expect them to solve something in this case and nothing. Yeah. Yeah, right? Within 2 minutes, right? That's what we're told. 2 minutes. Hi, Shelly. How are you? 60 to 90 days to process electronics. Yeah, so I'm thinking this is maybe when they're going to start getting stuff back. And I keep saying, and I know with this whole thing with Donald, in the beginning, I didn't think Donald. I mean, I don't know what happened. Okay, I wasn't there, obviously, but I do have faith in data. Okay, I believe in data before I trust anyone's word. And there's a good saying by, if you're familiar with the Chris Watts case, Agent Kevin Kobach. He told, for the Chris Watts case, he told Nicole Kessinger, who was Chris Watts' infamous mistress. Don't get me started with that, but he told her, phone data don't lie, people do. And I believe that 100%. And so that's why if Don is lying about any of where he was that day when, Candace called him, law enforcement's going to pick that up. If he's closer to the home, they're going to be like, hey, you weren't where you said you were. That's a lie. That's a big inconsistency. Where were you? So I'm trusting the data with that. So I'm just waiting on that. But someone had put up in one of the groups a theory of, I don't know, maybe you guys seen it. Maybe, what was it? Something about Donald was home, could have been home, then called Candace wanting to know where they were, then, put the truck somewhere and then waited for that opportunity. Got Summer. Of course, she didn't scream or anything because that's her dad. And then went to where he was. And then he was, on at the job site when Candace would have called. But again, for me, law enforcement's going to have that data and they're going to see when he did call Candace. Allegedly he was at she was at Walgreens at that time. So he's supposed to be at work. So again, I'm just waiting for that data to come back to really push me in any direction when it comes to Donald. Now, even though Donald has a disgusting, gross past, and it has for sure made me start thinking like, was he possibly doing something to Summer? Because, and we're going to get into that as we listen to the phone interview, but now it does raise questions for me. It does. Hi, Lolo. She says, hello, everyone. I've not been watching any good news. Yeah, well, there hasn't been really anything when it comes to, at least law enforcement gives us anything, but that's not a bad sign, you guys. If you followed other cases, sometimes that's a good sign, because what they're doing is they're working behind the scenes. They're working everything that they pulled, when it comes to forensics. They did remove a lot of items from the home, a lot of electronics. So they're going through all of that stuff right now. And law enforcement is watching the interviews the family are doing. They're watching it. They have their own special team taking notes and everything like that. So I don't think them being quiet right now is a bad thing. I'm going to trust them. Hi, Miss KJ. How are you? Oh, we got someone new here. She says, hi, I'm new here. This whole thing is a mess. It really is. It is a mess. I don't think any of us thought we'd still be this far, almost 2 months where is she? Oh, Ginger Girl said something interesting. She says, Val, what you must be replying to a comment. Law enforcement will wipe devices with inappropriate images of children. Huh. That is a question that I do have when we listen to it. And I reached out to my friend. He works for Los Angeles Sheriff, and he hasn't got back to me. I'm waiting because that was a question I had. Rita says, she says, at first I thought it was the parents, but now I'm thinking that it's someone that knows them very well. Well, for me, I told you guys this before. Since something happened to Summer when Candace was watching her, I'm not taking Candace off the table because of that. And also because of things that they just don't sit right with me. To me, they're red flags when it comes to Candace. But again, I wasn't there. And at the end of the day, I don't want to believe that she would hurt her daughter. But the other thing, Rita, I do agree. I don't believe a random stranger went up there. With everything we've seen, the odds of that, I mean, okay, yes, it's possible, but the odds are, my goodness, slim to none. At least that's what Dave Rader from Echo Search had said when it comes to a stranger abduction. Now, I agree with you, Rita. If someone did take her, it would be someone that I believe that knows that property really well, that's been on there. I believe it's someone who has been in the home, that those animals, even though Dawn says they weren't there now, but we know that's a lie. And, that the dogs would be familiar with them, and maybe even if someone's seen their car in the area, maybe wouldn't even think anything. So again, I said this on the last live, we really need to look at, well, who is in their inner circle? Okay. And the only people I can see looking at the Facebook from Candace and, what they have been saying is it seems like all they really have done was go to church. That seems like their biggest um, source of communication with anybody outside of their home, it seems like to me. So I'm wondering, when it comes to the church, has ever been questioned inside and out? That's what I wonder. Hey, Megs, how are you? Cindy says, very low chance of a stranger abduction, maybe a planned handoff by Candace and Grandma Candace to get Summer away from Dawn. That's a question, you guys. Do you think Grandma's involved in this? Let's just talk about that really quick before we get this started. Do you think Grandma would be capable of something like that, though? I mean, she lost her daughter already. She's been through that. And we know Grandma had nothing to do with, I think we all can agree. We don't think Grandma had anything to do with her daughter's disappearance. Oh, God, I hope not. Imagine. I mean, anything is possible with these cases now. Nothing would surprise me. But do you think Grandma would do something like that? Like hand her off? Oh my God, are they saying dogs were at the groomers? Is that, I haven't heard that, but is that something new? I heard Don say that the dogs weren't there, but now are they saying the groomers now? Oh my goodness. That's reminded me of the Cash Gurnan case. Heather says, where did your comment go, Heather? She says, yes, helping with the cover up. Like if an accident happened, maybe I can see that. Like if an accident happened, maybe grandma wanting to help cover it up because, there are the other children in the home. And if it was an accident, maybe I can see that. Amanda says, I think grandma is scared shitless and that's why she left. Yeah, her leaving is definitely a red flag. I don't believe she left for the reasons we're being told. I also think if the family is responsible for Summer's disappearance and grandma is aware of it, I think she left because, like Amanda just said, she is scared shitless, possibly. Sherry says, I would not rule out anything. Yeah, with these cases, I wouldn't either because nothing would surprise me. Um, Hey, Kevin, how are you? So, where's this groomers comment coming from? Because Donald didn't say that in the interview. I just listened to it again in the morning. Is it something new he's saying? Did he post something? Where's this groomers comment coming from? Because I haven't heard that yet. You know what, Sugar Aunt? And she says maybe grandma met someone on the way or something. I'll be honest, and if you guys know the Gannon Stout case, you know how Leticia Stout was going to visit family, and she had, allegedly, Gannon in the suitcase, allegedly, and they found him, thrown on the side of, I think it was a freeway pass, and allegedly, that's when she found the opportunity to get rid of his body right then and there. But grandma leaving did remind me of that. I'm not going to lie. And I hope I'm not getting anything wrong with the Gannon Stout details because it's been so long since I looked at them. Yeah, right, Sugar Aunt? Leticia's, that case, with certain things with this case, I'm not going to lie, with the photo, the recording and then the photo, it just reminded me a lot of that case. Sky says, F Leticia. Yeah. Yeah. In the suitcase. Yeah. That's another case that really broke me. I cannot listen to that recording of him crying. That pain he had. Oh my gosh. It just gets me every time. That poor little boy who knows what he went through that night. So Johnny says, hi, Johnny. How are you? He says, lies, no groomers, they can dress or kid lies, no groomers, they can dress or kid their kids clean. I think he meant kept their kids clean, but yet you have money to take 8-10. Yeah, I don't think, I'm just wondering, where did this groomers comment come from? Did someone see it? Can someone just tell me? Yeah, trust me, I have 2 dogs and getting them groomed is like $100 for one. So yeah, they're expensive. I'm gonna say. So, okay, so this is just gossip. Okay, so no one has seen it. Donald hasn't said it. Candace hasn't said it. So this is just probably circulating, I'm guessing, in the Facebook groups, I'm going to guess. So yeah, no groomers. Okay, thank you. Because haven't seen that. Hey, Mike. Thank you, Mike, for that super chat. You are awesome. How are you doing today, Mike? Chicken lady. I sent you a photo, I think, through email. I seen these baby chickens and they just reminded me so much of you. I was like, I gotta show her this. And they were so cute. The Gannon, yeah, that audio broke me too. That audio really broke me with Gannon crying because we all have children. I think most of us. And your kids have different cries, right? They have that little spoiled brat cry where they're not getting their way. And then they have that cry where they're really not crying. They're kind of just like either just trying to get their way again, and then they have a cry where their feelings are hurt, when they're in agony and pain. And that cry Gannon was doing just reminded me of his emotions being so hurt and him being physically in pain. And it's really heartbreaking. Oh, we got a new subscriber here. Hello, Rebecca. Everyone give her a big welcome. How are you doing today? So first, let me just read this missing flyer before we get started with listening to the interview room. Chris is phone interview he did with Donald. And let me just move this over for I can read it. So let's start off with, of course, bringing attention to the very beautiful summer moon Utah Wells. And again, she is a female. She's 3 feet, 36 inches. She weighs about 40 pounds. She's Caucasian, and it says Summer Moon Utah Wells was last seen on June 15th, 2021 at or near her home in Rogersville, Tennessee. At this time, the circumstances of Summer's disappearance remain unclear. And I always share this flyer because it's so true what it says. Law enforcement has not announced any determination of whether Summer wandered off, was abducted, and or the victim of foul play. No suspects have been named in her case. If you have any information, please contact the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at 423-272-4848 or obviously the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Also, really quick, I do want to, of course, not forget Rosemarie Bly. We know she is obviously Candace's sister, and she was missing. She was reported missing on August 21st, 2009 from St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. Again, she's a female, white female. She was 21 years old when she was reported missing. So she was, oh my God, you guys, she was so young. And at the time, she was 5 feet. She weighed 110 pounds. Her hair and eye color were brown. Her hairstyle varied. She did have 2 red cherry tattoos, and there's a picture of it on her right ankle. And then she has piercings in her ears and navel. Now, the details of her disappearance, it says that she was last seen leaving her residence in St. Croix Falls in Wisconsin en route to Cushing, Wisconsin. Now, the distance between her residence and where she was going was only a 5 miles distance. Her car was recovered 5 days later in Grantsburg in a parking lot typically used by truck drivers to park their tractor trailers, it says. Now, this parking lot is approximately 30 miles from her residence. And for this one, it says any information you can call Polk County Sheriff at 715. It's so small, 485-8362, I believe that says. The writing on this one is really small. So again, any information, please contact them. It's just so crazy to me, this one. She's like vanished, like just disappeared. How is that even possible? I mean, it's possible, but that's another one that's really strange, really, really strange. All right, guys. So I'm going to set up now. Let me get to the video. All right, so let me stop sharing that really quick with you guys. Stop screen. And my hair. Okay, let's see. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, and let me first put up my hair today. I definitely need a haircut. Let me share this. Hold on. Let me get to the interview room. And again, we're going to be listening to Don Wild's phone conversation he had with the interview room. And we're listening to this together for education purposes. So we're going to analyze it and compare it to other things that Donald has said. Because I feel like the more, I don't know about you guys, do you guys notice it? The more they talk like Donald and even Candace, the more details they give us with this case, and especially what happened. And I think it's interesting because a lot of information they're giving us is information that from the previous interview they did. It's stuff that us as people that are following it, we've been asking these questions. Example, the dogs. That's something that a lot of people, after Chris drove up to the property and the dog started going, people were like, wow, like that was like, wow, these dogs are barking. So now all of a sudden, Don's like, well, you know what? They weren't here that day. Well, why wasn't that said in the beginning? That makes no sense to me. So let me share this really quick on my video. Okay. How's chat, everybody? Is it going okay? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. Because you always got to give credit to your source. And okay. And let me pin this. It says early stages of human remains found in farm from I don't think that has anything to do with this case, though. I heard about that. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comment, what she was saying. Okay, let me get to this. All right, let me share my screen with you all. Okay, hold on. Okay. So I'm just going to let me rewind it. So everybody listened to it, correct? Put a 1 if you guys listened to it. I think most of you have. Let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, I'm seeing 1. There's 2. There are 2 YouTube channels that are bleeding hearts for. Just doing me said 1 times 20. I'm with you, girlfriend. I'm with you on that. Insanely says 1 times 100. Hi, Grace. How are you? Hi, Rosemary. How are you? Johnny says it's a big drug and sex ring, I think. Well, the more Donald talks about things, it makes you wonder that, right? Because it seems like after listening to this, they have a lot of people doing illegal activities in their surrounding area where they live. At least what Donald says, I was like, damn, they are surrounded by illegal activity. It seems like they're smack right in the middle of it, based off of what Donald has said. Yeah, buddy, I was looking at that too. I heard of that, and I don't think it has anything to do with Summer. I know who took Summer away. I agree. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Let me make sure the volume is as high because Donald talks kind of I put it at 100. Donald talks kind of. He has like I don't know what's the word, a muffle kind of a voice, like it's like raspy. I don't know. So I have it at the highest one. Regina says, birds of feathers flock together. I agree. But they're right in the middle of it. Yes. Wouldn't the police know if the dogs were there? Not the day Summer went missing. They were all over there. Yeah. That's why I thought when Donald said they weren't there now, I was like blown away, because in the interview he did with Jay is for Justice, because Donald's done the interview with Jay. I think she has like a couple of things with him. She brings up the dogs too, and Donald just says something like, "Oh, the dogs don't really bark. They're not those type of dogs." He never once said the dogs weren't there. He never once said that. And when he did the interview with the guy from Times News, dogs were brought up too. Not once did he say the dogs weren't there. So it's just so funny to me now, when everybody, after Chris shows up on his property and the dogs go crazy, that now he's saying, "Oh, you know what? The dogs weren't there." But they were there when David Dotson got there that night. So I don't believe that for shit. I'm sorry, I'm saying that now. I don't believe that at all. The dogs were there. He's just trying to make it more believable what he's saying about her being kidnapped, is my personal opinion. All right, guys, so I'm going to hit play. So we're going to watch this. Let me take that off the screen. David Dotson also said the dogs barked at him when he got there. But after they stopped, I guess when they, it seems like they bark at you right away. And then once you're there for a little bit, they stop barking. Because that's something that David Dotson also said, that the dogs were barking at first, but then they weren't barking anymore. So it seems like once they get to know you a little bit, they'll stop. All right, you guys ready? And I'm going to let you guys know again, we are watching this right now for education purposes. I have my notes. We're going to dissect it. I'm going to be stopping it a lot. Certain parts I'm not going to play. Again, that's why the video is linked in the description. So if you want to watch the full video again without me interrupting and stuff like that, then click on that and watch it there. Again, this is coming from Chris from the Interview Rooms channel. He's an ex-homicide detective, I believe. And yeah, you can tell his questions were definitely questions that I enjoyed it. I know some people didn't like the way Chris handled this, but at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have a problem with it. And a lot of the information that he got Donald to say, no one twisted his arm to say it. And this isn't the first interview Donald's done, you guys. He talked to Jay for Justice. He's talked to her a couple times. He's done the Times News interview. I think he has 4 with him, and then, all his Facebook. So no one forced him to do this, and I enjoyed actually watching the whole thing go down. That's my personal opinion. All right, guys, let's put play now.
Hey, Emma.
Good, how are you?
Well, I just wanted to call and talk to you a little bit. I might have misunderstood exactly what was going on. If I have, I apologize to you. I just a little bit confusing everything. What's going on and all.
Yeah, there's no problem, Don. I mean, I wanted to talk to you at length and sit down with you, and I knew that there was, you couldn't talk about the boys, but I just want to focus on Summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
if I was wrong, I'm sorry. I just kind of misunderstood some things. I think this miscommunication or whatever. I don't know.
No worries.
Everybody said they thought he was really cool and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of trying to think, But yeah, that's what I want to do is focus on Summer. Everybody's focused on me and Candace, and I've been trying to tell them from the beginning when the cops first started pulling into our house that she's not here. And I've never listened.
What do you... I know you feel that way. So what's brought you to that? Why are you at that?
Well, I knew I knew as soon as I pulled up, as soon as I pulled up, and I didn't get a call back from Candace saying, "Oh, we found her," and I come all the way out from Jonesboro, and I probably made it in 30 minutes at least, if not faster. But I beat all the police there, and I went straight to the bottom property. And I seen everybody looking. I knew she was gone because she don't go away from the house ever.
Yeah.
And so I
go ahead.
Yeah.
What did I just do? Hold on, guys. Sorry. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Is it the administration's?
What did I just do? Hit a wrong button. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. You know what it is? Because my nails are long and I'm like all over. Hold on, guys. Let me pull it up for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to replay that part again, you guys, but I want you to really listen to what Donald says right there because it's really important. Where is it? And I'm not looking at chat, you guys, really quick. Hold on. Oh, yeah, right, Heather. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right.
Well, I just knew.
All right, let's share the screen again. Sorry about that, guys. My apologies. Okay. So right here, you guys, Chris is asking him pretty much, why did he come up to that conclusion of Summer being gone immediately when he got to the property, right? Immediately he thought she was gone. So Donald says, let me move this over really quick so I can see. He says, I knew as soon as I pulled up, he repeats himself, as soon as I pulled up, I didn't get a call back from Candace saying, oh, we found her. And I came all the way out from Jonesboro. I probably made it in 30 minutes. Now he's saying the reason that he was so quick, and this is very important, you guys, keep this in your mind. He's saying that he was so quick to think Summer was missing, someone took her, was because Candace did not call him back and tell him we found her. So that's why when he got there, he already knew she was taken, okay? So just keep that in the back of your mind.
I knew right in that very second that she was gone.
Okay, what inside of you brought that so quickly, brother? Where did you come from on that?
Well, I knew they was looking around the hill and everything up top there, and I drove straight to the bottom there where that little funky shed is there, and I went down the hill by the creek in that little 4-wheel drive Subaru. I went straight down there to the creek, and I seen the boys down there, and they know not to travel alone. They was together, and I seen my neighbor walking around, and I knew my heart just sank right there. I just knew it that somebody took her, because she just don't go nowhere. But she would never leave from up at the, around the house there. No way.
Yeah, I mean, what about the boys? What were they doing when you saw them down there by the?
Do you guys think it's a little strange that he didn't go straight to the property? He went straight to down by where the creek was. Right? Why did he rush down? Yeah. Yeah, I just thought, for me, I just thought it was a little strange, a little bit. It could be nothing though.
Shed. Well, they weren't by the shed. They was down just, they were, if you look down where the power lines are, you go straight down, they were looking, walking around looking for Summer. And I knew I just knew she was gone. I mean, but trying to tell the police that and everything when they just pulled up, and then they blocked all the roads because I guess they took the time to call in search teams and everything like that, thinking that she was just lost in the woods. And I was trying to tell them she's not lost in the woods. Somebody has taken her. I tried to tell them that, and they never did listen to that.
What was your feeling as to why they weren't listening? What's your gut?
I'm not sure why. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I mean, probably because they figured that she was just lost. I don't know what I'm talking about. And
Okay, so I do want to point out, so Don's saying he doesn't understand why they think that she's wandered off and all this stuff, right? Like he doesn't understand why they think that. So, excuse me. So I went back to listen to all the briefings that the TBI and the sheriff did with they gave us. Like I told you guys, they did the first one on June 16th, okay? So the first one was with TBI, Leslie Earhart, I believe her name is, and then the sheriff was there. Excuse me. Now, the TBI agent, Leslie Earhart, said that Summer, I quote, Summer was last seen outside her home on Ben Hill Road. On Ben Hill Road. So on June 16th, the TBI told everybody that Summer was last seen outside her home. Now, it was either Candace or Grandma who told law enforcement all of this, right? Because Don's not there. He's the third party. So when they arrive on the scene on June 15th, why did Candace, it has to be Candace. She's the mother. They're going to come to the mother and be like, okay, tell us what happened. So it's coming from her. Why did she say that Summer was outside? Who last seen Summer outside? Who is this? How did it get from them telling law enforcement that she was outside to she's inside now in the basement? That's why they were searching all around, because Candace or Grandma, someone there, told them that she was last seen outside. So the story has changed, you guys. Somewhere in between, it changed. And I started going back and listening to all of the briefings. During June 16th briefing, a reporter asked, where were they focusing their search? And the sheriff said, she's 5 years old. She left the house. She got a little further than they expected. So on June 16th, law enforcement is believing that she was last seen outside and that she wandered off because someone in that house told law enforcement that. Law enforcement didn't make that up, you guys. Law enforcement isn't having this conspiracy, okay? Somebody in that whole house between Candace and Grandma, because they were there, told law enforcement that she was outside. Now, fast forward, the story's changed. Why? I have no idea. Then on June 17th, they did another briefing. It was the sheriff, TBI, and then now they had Captain Tim Coop, who is from the Churchill Rescue Squad. Now, Tim Coop says in that briefing on June 17th, he says, everyone, meaning residents, keep asking if Summer wandered off, why didn't anyone see her? And again, because law enforcement believed at that time, because someone told them that she was outside last seen. So he's saying that, the way the community is spread apart, the way neighbors live way over here and then the other one's way over there, that's why possibly no one's seen her on foot. So when Dawn now fast forward is saying, I don't understand why they were searching there and they thought she was there. Well, you need to look at your inside circle there because someone in that house told law enforcement that she was outside. Okay, I'm going to believe the TBI. I'm going to believe the sheriff. Somebody told them that Summer was last seen outside. And that's why they focus so much right there. Then you have Donald coming home saying, no, she's been taken, you guys. She's been taken. But you weren't even there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. The story has changed, you guys. And it's frustrating when I see people saying, the story hasn't changed. Yes, it has. It has changed because originally TBI said on the 16th, Summer was last seen outside her home on Ben Hill Road. This is coming on the 16th. So if there was any miscommunication, let's just say on the 15th with the 911 call, let's just say that. They get on the scene, you would think they're going to figure it all out. Oh, no, she was actually in the basement, okay? So on the 16th, they're going to have everything a little bit more in details, right? So that's why I'm going to believe what they're saying here, that they were told Summer was outside. Who's seen Summer outside? That's what I would like to know. And then on the 21st, they did another briefing, TBI Sheriff and Tim Coop. And that's when they start saying circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance is still unclear. I think this is where the story started switching behind the scenes. This is my opinion. Okay. And that's when, they say that the agents have followed up on a number of leads. They were looking at residential surveillance videos and photos. Drivers seen around the area have been identified. It says at the time of her disappearance, any vehicles that were seen were identified and interviewed. Now, they go on to say they have not ruled out an abduction, but they simply don't have any evidence at this point to confirm that is what occurred. And that's why they're searching the area. So I think after the 17th, I think my personal opinion, based off of hearing what the TBI and the sheriff and Tim Coop had said, I think that's when the story started changing. And then she was now seen inside the basement. But originally, they were told she was outside. And I just wonder who said that. Was it Candace? Who's seen her outside? And if you guys been here for a while, and I'm sorry, I'm not looking at chat. If you guys, there was a big Facebook group, and early on, I don't know because I'm not in that group anymore. But early on, it was being said that Candace had seen Summer outside walking. And that was the first story that I remember with this case, was that the boys had seen her go in the basement, and then that's Candace seen her walking outside. And I remember everybody was like, well, why didn't she go outside? It was like a big thing. But that was the first story I remember hearing. Again, that's not coming from law enforcement, but that's the first thing I remember hearing about it. So when I went back recently and I started looking at all of this, when, TBI agent Leslie says this on June 16th, that she was last seen outside, it made me think like, I remember that was the original story that was being said in the beginning. Why did it change? Who changed it? I don't know. But I just wanted to point that out really quick, you guys. Who was it that said the boys were actually at work with Dawn? That was going to be H. If you remember in H's interview he did with Chris, he says that that Candace told him the boys were at work with Donald. So that's where that story came in. Yeah, that was Mike. That was the first thing I remember in the groups, that was the story being told, was Candace seeing her walking outside. So, hi, Natalie, how are you? So that's why TBI focused right there, because they were told she was outside last seen. So they're believing she wandered off. Okay. So Donald's getting upset with it. But again, he needs to get upset with whoever told that to law enforcement. That possibly could be it. So perhaps Candace told H a story about boys at work. She didn't want to tell him that she left the boys at home alone. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, because I mean, I know some people, every household is different, but the oldest was 12, depending on his maturity. If you're going to be out for a little bit, some people think that's old enough to be home alone. Some people don't think that at all. It just depends. She says pointing fingers at Allie and Hunter at H is basically what Candace and Dawn did. Yeah. Here's another thing before I hit play. Dawn is really upset that everyone is looking at him and bringing up his past, right? But isn't that what he did in the beginning on his Facebook with a minor? He put out information about the minor that he, allegedly did on his Facebook. And that's what got him in Facebook jail, was that actually, and it had to be removed. So he's doing the same thing. He's naming people also throughout this interview. So he's doing the same thing that he's saying he doesn't want to be done to him. Don't do it to him, though. He seems more worried about his camera. I think there's a very good reason they kept the camera. I can imagine what is on it. Yeah, and that's another interesting thing I have in my notes too. The whole shed thing. With everything we know, I mean, law enforcement obviously looked at all the sheds. They were looking for, Summer. I wonder if they looked in it for anything else. With Dawn's background, I'm not going to lie, learning all that information, this whole thing with the shed and all of this, I'm wondering, and this is my opinion, please do not go and take this and say this is facts or anything like that, but this is my opinion. This is what I thought. I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if he had photos in there, videos in there? That's where my mind went. What was in that shed? There's something about that shed for me that just doesn't sit right. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't. What's in there? I don't know. But that's just my opinion. It was on camera and something else wasn't. Buddy, what do you mean, buddy? So it was a camera. It was a camera and something else wasn't it? Or am I remembering wrong? Are you talking about what they removed from the home? Hey, Zen, how are you? Hey, Jennifer, we got a new subscriber here, you guys. Give her a good welcome. Thank you. Welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. When I'm usually doing these, sharing the screens, I don't pay too much attention to chat just because I'm so focused with this. And you all know I go on a tangent all the time. Katie B says, I think it's just expensive tools they don't want on camera. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, buddy, I think it was, and we're going to hear it. I believe it's the camera because they have all those photos, remember? And I'm not sure if he says a TV. Did he say it's? No, it couldn't have been a TV. I know it's the camera they removed. Well, Lucy, you're on a channel that we are a true crime channel here, and we do discussions, okay? So this is what we do here. So if you don't like what the content is, I don't really understand why you're even watching, to be honest with you. There's plenty of other things that you can watch. I would suggest watching that. Life is too short. Don't be angry. Watch something that makes you feel good. Right now, we are talking summer wows. We have 750 people in here. A lot of people are invested in this case. So I don't know what to tell you, honey. Monica says, yes, it was a TV. Okay, thank you, Monica. Yeah, I don't know why they would. He says that they don't have that on the list because they have to give you a list of what they're removing, and they didn't have that on there. So I don't know. Okay, guys, I'm going to hit play.
They all have different questions and this and that. And, probably because, many times before it's always been the parents too and stuff, or whatever. I'm not sure, but I just knew that she was headed down the road somewhere in somebody's car, and no matter what I was saying, it just wasn't getting through. I just felt like I was just totally lost. I was in shock.
Yeah.
In complete shock.
Now, when you got there, describe for me what the scene looked like. What was going on?
Well, the police started coming in and everything, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go take my car and I'm going to go look here and there, and drive around. And I drove, like I say, I was in shock. I didn't know which way to go. So I tried to drive down, and I got down there on the road, and there were these people bringing their trailers in and their four-wheelers, and all of Ben Hill and Beach Creek was just bottlenecked. Traffic jam. Couldn't get nowhere.
Right.
Couldn't go nowhere.
And then what about, now are these all cops or are they search and rescue?
Well, they were mostly police and, volunteer search and rescue or whatever like that.
Okay.
But I didn't, I probably didn't clarify on the phone, either that she was abducted because I didn't know at the time. But like I say, when I pulled up there, I knew that she was gone. And maybe I didn't communicate that to them like I should have, or what was what I felt. Well, I had a few times. I said she's not here. I come to that conclusion right away. But
what brought you to that conclusion? That was pretty quick, right? I mean, just knowing her, and that because we tried to scare the heck out of her and let her know, because we do have bears, right. And we do, them dogs. Everybody keeps talking about them dogs, but they're the stupidest damn things, and they also will go away for days and then come back, and I don't know where the heck they go, but they'll. And they weren't there that day. Oh,
they weren't around that day. Yeah.
Okay, so like Don's saying that, the dogs, they can't, he says they're the stupidest damn things, he says, and they will go away for a few days and then they'll come back. He says he doesn't know where the heck they go. And then he says, but they weren't there that day. Now, you guys need to go back and listen to, I know it's J is for Justice did the phone call with Donald, and dogs are mentioned. And in that one, he says the dogs are stupid too. I think something like that. And he never once mentions the dogs not being there. He also did an interview with the Times News. I don't remember which one it was, but because he's done, I think 4 with the guy from there. And again, dogs were mentioned, and he never once says they weren't there. So then you have David Dotson, who did his interview with Teresa from Unmasked, and dogs were mentioned in that one. And David says the dogs were there when he got there. And I believe, does anyone remember what time David said he got there that evening? Because he showed up with Robin that night, and the dogs were there. And police, when they first arrived, because police is watching this, so police is, they would know where the dog's there. Yeah, all those dogs just happened to vanish that day now. And they just miraculously end up back there when law enforcement gets there. Like, okay. And this is a detail that you would think would have been said from day one when dogs have been mentioned to him on numerous times, because that is something that everybody talked about in the beginning. You guys have all these dogs and that they didn't bark. That was something that everybody was like trying to figure out. Like, how is that possible? You know, it would be different if they had one dog and the dog didn't bark. Then I'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe the one, but not one of all those dogs they had, not one did a bark or anything. And if they would have came out and said, you know what, we do have 6, 7 dogs, and you know what, they bark at everything. They bark at, squirrels and, anything. They bark at the wind. So when they bark, it doesn't alert us to anything because they're always barking. I would understand that concept of it all. For me and my household, it's way different. Our dogs are trained. So when my dog barks, they don't bark at everything. So when they do bark, I know someone's outside. I already immediately know someone's coming to our door. So why wasn't this information just shared in the beginning? Like, the dogs weren't there that day. It's just these little new details that I'm just like, ugh. And it's just interesting because it comes out after Chris drives up and the dogs are barking like crazy. Let me see what you guys are saying. Do they feed them? I don't know. I would hope so. And they have cats too, right? They have that little baby kitten. Remember when Candace was holding that little baby kitten? Hi, Shannon. I seen Shannon in the house. How are you? And Shannon, I need to email you. I believe it's you, darling. Mm-hmm. It's just odd though. I think we can all agree like the whole dogs are just gone and then they're just back right then and there. So, and again, if this would have been said in the beginning, it's just it being said all this time now later, that's just alarming to me because like I said, we're learning this now after Chris goes there and we all watched it and the dogs were getting crazy because if you watch that live, unfortunately Chris don't allow the replay of the chat, but a lot of people, once the dog started barking when he's pulling up, everybody was saying, wow, the dogs are barking. The dogs are barking. Now, after a while, as he was there, they stopped barking at him. But when he first got there, they were barking. So I just think it is perfect timing now after that, that Donald is now saying, you know what, the dogs aren't there anymore, guys. They weren't there. You can't make this shit up, you guys. Mima Dragon, did I say that correctly, love? And you know what, you guys? Maybe, because I don't know if Donald had anything to do with it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do not know. Again, I tell you guys, I'm real big on data. So I'm still waiting to see what comes with that information with the whole, where was he with when those phone calls actually happened. And I want to know where he was at, where he's pinging when, he called Candace and she was at Walgreens. Where was he at? And then, of course, where was he at when she called him and told him about Summer missing? I want to know where he was at with those two things. So I don't think, I don't know. I just don't think right now, at least. But it's just these little added details that are just alarming. And maybe he's just adding these things because, I don't know, to make it more believable. I don't know. All right, let me hit play.
So the dogs, you think maybe the dogs got, what's your thought on why the dogs weren't there?
I don't know where they go, but there's been times, like I say, they've disappeared for days, and they'll come dragging back all tired and beat up and hungry, and stuff like that. Yeah. We don't know where they go.
When I told Candace she needed a zoo light.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I'm like,
I know.
So what time did you get there? Do you remember?
Well, they say, it's really strange because I thought it was 5:30, but the 911 call says 6:30, 6:26 is when the first call come in. And that could well be. Sometimes I work till sunset, A lot of times I have been here lately, but I thought it was 5:30. But the strange thing of it is when we went to the Hawkins County to do.
And Rose with Thorns, I agree with your comment. She says, seems like a lot of what they say is in response to what they're hearing. And that is so true. I 100% agree with you. Now, this was interesting to me because he says that it's really strange because I thought it was 5:30. Don's been saying that since the beginning. He thought it was 5:30. That's always stuck out to him, the 5:30 mark with him. But he says that the 911 call says 6:30, but to be exact, 6:26 is when the first call came in. And that could well be. He says, I sometimes work till sunset, A lot of times I have been home. I've been here lately, but that's what he says. But so he's saying that at 6:26, that's when the first 911 call came in. And I'm wondering, when did Candace call 911? That's something that I've been wondering. When did that come in? So the 6:26 911 call, who did that one? Is that the one that Dawn did? Because from the dispatch call, it does seem like that's the one Dawn did, because she even says, the father says. And this always bugged me, and this is something I talked to you guys before about the photo that, Candace was uploading at I think it was 6:05 and 6:06 on June 15th. 6:05 p.m., 6:06, I think, are the times. She was on her Facebook uploading at that time. And I remember I went to her page early on. I didn't know she went by Candace Bly. I looked up Candace Wells, and I seen the profile change. I seen the wallpaper change and the updates she was doing. And something just told me, take screenshots of these. And I did. And by, I think the next day or 2 days later, she deleted all of that. Any activity she was doing at that time on June 15th, Candace deleted. Okay, so it's not there anymore. And I have the screenshots though. So it's just always bugged me, that activity on her social media, because your child is missing. I don't know. That's just always bugged me.
Our lie detectors were knocked out. They took all of our phones. And then magically, all of our phone records from 3:30 on that day have been deleted.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, me, my wife's, and her mother have all been deleted from 3:30 on.
So they had your phones that day then?
Yes, sir.
And when did they give them back to you?
They give them back, fairly quickly, but we never even looked at them until about, a week or two ago. We had some detectives that we talked to, a lot, and they wanted to know exactly this information, and we all looked, and it was all gone, deleted. Oh, interesting.
Shelly, thank you so much for that super sticker. I was going to say Snapchat. Thanks for that Snapchat. Thank you so much, love. Okay, can we talk about this whole thing with the deleted text? So again, he's saying when they went to go do their lie detectors, they took all their phones. And he's saying magically all of the phone records from his grandma's and Candace from 3:30 on have been deleted. Now, why is that? Does anyone know if that's something law enforcement does? I did message my friend, and he hasn't got back to me, and I was hoping he'd get back to me because I wanted to see if this is a practice that they do. Because we know, usually they download it, they use, Celebrate or, a different app to download all the data, they extract it and they hand the phone back, but they already have the data. Why would law enforcement delete everything off the phones? Is that normal protocol to do? And another thing I thought was interesting was how they gave their phones back right away. Don says, yeah, we got our phones back right away. H hasn't got his phone back. And why keep H's phone? In H's interview, let's see, he did his interview. When did H do it? H did his interview on July 21st with Chris. And he complains because he's saying law enforcement still has his phone. So I thought, why keep his phone and give back their phone? I thought that was interesting. Let me see what you guys are saying. I had mine removed as well. Yes, police must do that. Okay, so the information they want, they actually delete it. God's Grace. What a pretty name. KDB says because he's allegedly a suspect. Where did that comment go? Keep the physical evidence. Well, that's something, I'm going to be honest, KDB. I was like, when I learned that Don and them got their phones back immediately, I was like, wait, why do they still have H's phone? That's interesting to me. Let's see. They take everything off and H may have info on there that they need. Well, Voices, but Don says that he got his phone. They got their phone back right away. H, on July 21st, he still didn't have his phone when he did that interview with Chris, because that's something he points out. He's like, I don't have my phone. They said they would give it back to me. And so he didn't have his phone. He didn't get his phone right away. If he has it back now, okay. But they did keep his phone way longer than they did theirs. No, oh, I know, right? When Don said that, I did think that was kind of interesting. It did throw me off. I was like, okay. All in tanks. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that was kind of like, what? When she says no officer is going to hand out liquor to victims' family that also have a CPS involved. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of odd when Don said that, to be honest with you. I was like, huh? Okay. That's a good point. Beauty and brains. It could be as simple as H's phone might have been more difficult to extract. That's true. They might have. That is very true. Very, very true. They could have had to use a different app maybe to extract it, because we know that from the Chris Watts case too. Remember, they did Celebrate off her phone, and then they wanted to use some other app to get. I don't think they were happy with what they got, because we all know she deleted everything. So they did use something else on it. How about I make your time more enjoyable by just removing you? Thank you. You guys, seriously, life is too short for these unnecessary comments. You guys, go watch something that you enjoy. I don't understand that. Ay. Okay, let me hit play.
Yes.
So what about when you, in your gut, I was watching the news, you on the news channel, and when the reporter asked you, what's your fears and stuff, and what is your thought process about where Where do you think she is?
Well, at first I thought, it's got to be some sicko hillbilly druggie, drug her out in the woods or something, or somebody put her in her car and took her not too far away or whatever like that. But I'm starting to wonder if it isn't some high-end thing. Maybe somebody's seen her on Facebook, because my wife was always posting stuff on Facebook. It could have been, she could be anywhere. I have, my mind just goes back and forth. I don't have any idea. But I figured kind of that. Well, a lot of people are talking about Dan Dudley. I don't know. I've never seen anything like him. I've seen people on. I've seen people on meth before, and this was beyond that. He was. I don't know. He showed up one day, and he was running late, and he says, "Oh man, I've been out helping my."
Hello?
And he was running late. And he says, "Oh man, I've been out helping my uncle clear land somewhere, and blah blah blah." And this is a man that I let him in my business and give him 50%, and all he had to do was show up. And he's already given me excuses, But whatever he was on, it was bad because he wouldn't listen to anything I said. It's hard to explain, but he was just fighting me every inch of the way on everything. And I give in and would let him do, okay, you want to do that, fine. But he thought that there was all kind of dirt in his mud, and he wanted me to throw it away and get him some new stuff, and he blew up.
Thank you so much, Nicole Morgan. She says, sorry, I haven't been here contributing. Well, because you're a busy mama, that's why. You're amazing. Thank you, love. Thank you. Always appreciate you being here and always appreciate talking this case with you behind the scenes. And hello, Tiffany Marie. How are you, my love? So right now, Don's obviously talking about his ex-coworker. And we discussed this before in one of the other lives. We went over the photo. I showed you guys the photo. Don, I showed you the screenshots of Don talking about him in the Facebook, on his Facebook. Don even, says you guys want to look at his Facebook. He was telling people in the beginning to go look at this guy's Facebook. And Don has said before that he did believe that this was somebody that in his mind, that was his number one suspect. And when I did go look up this guy's information, it was interesting that Don's saying all this stuff still about him, right? But then they were still friends on Facebook. And this guy didn't even look like he had any activity on his Facebook, to be honest with you. But it is the same. It is the same one that we talked about before. So I'm going to forward this part just because we did do a live and I showed you guys all that information. So let me move on. Do you guys have any questions about the worker? Engines, tell me now. Ever hold your peace. Zen, thank you so much for that super sticker, for that Snapchat. We're going to start calling it Snapchat. Lisa said, did he just describe himself? You know what? A lot of people were saying that when this was live in that chat. Exactly saying that. Marie says, I'm so late. Hello, love. How are you? Oh yeah. I believe that too. That's my opinion. I believe that too. I believe he's telling half truth. He knows who took her and why. Yeah, I believe he is telling half truths. I don't know I feel like the more they talk, the family talks, I just feel like it just leads I feel more confused, which is never a good sign. Zen, thank you. No, he's talking about, let me, 1529. You guys want to see it? Okay, let me play it for you guys since.
One day, and he was running late, and he says, "Oh man, I've been out helping my."
Hello?
And he was running late, and he says, "Oh man, I've been out helping my uncle clear land somewhere, blah blah blah." And this is a man that I let him in my business and give him 50%, and all he had to do was show up. And he's already given me excuses, but whatever he was on, it was bad because, he wouldn't listen to anything I said. I mean, it's hard to explain, but he was just fighting me every inch of the way on everything. And I give in and would let him do, okay, you want to do that, fine. But he thought that there was all kind of dirt in his mud, and he wanted me to throw it away and get him some new stuff, and it blew up. And he's like, "Man, you put it back in there or what?" And just like yelling at me. And then later that day, he's like, "Just go home." He was throwing mud all over the floor, a brand new house.
So he's talking about work stuff, not so the mud thing, that's work related, right? He's not talking about, like drug talk. I think that's what that question was asking earlier. Okay, let me forward this again since, like I said, we did discuss all of this before.
So I'm so I have a question though. Let's go back to the day, okay?
Yes.
Unpack that day for me. When did you leave for work? And then when the 911 or when you
I left early that morning. Summer was by my side, and I left for work. And I worked all day, and then I called her at some point. I guess when she was in Walgreens, I says, "Well, what are you doing?" And so she said something about taking them out to the lake or whatever. And I thought, well, hell, I might as well just work late because there's no point in me going home. They're out doing their thing, and I might as well just stay late and do what I can. And then, my boss come by and make fun of me. She's about my car. I was using that brand new car for drywall and giving me a hard time about that. I was talking to her.
Now, you said Summer was by your side. What does that mean?
She was asleep by my side when I woke up.
Okay, got it. And what time was that approximately?
I'd say about 7. Okay. Maybe earlier, 6:30 or 7, somewhere in there.
Okay, and
yeah, she had to be by me. She just had to be by me.
That's her personality.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she loves me to death. I could say just one harsh word to her and she would break down. I'd have to apologize to her 10 times over.
Right.
I mean, it just kills me that she's gone.
And her room was right next door.
Sherry, welcome to the membership. Welcome, my love. So that I seen a comment that if they interviewed any of the co-workers. Well, now Don's letting us know that his boss was there that day. So I'm going to assume law enforcement interviewed his co-worker and the boss to make sure of it. So he says that he woke up between 6:30 or 7. And we know the only time frame that Candace gave us really for that day on the 15th was, she says that when they went to the hospital for her mom, she says that was around 8 a.m., she says. And I remember that so clearly because she doesn't really give us any time, unfortunately, but she did say 8 a.m. So we know from the time, so they're there at the hospital. Then shortly after that, they go to H's house, right? They're there for a little bit. They're not there long. And then they go back and pick up grandma. Then they go to Walgreens, and that's when Donald calls. I'm trying to figure out that time frame. Like, what time would that have been that he called? Because he does say, he says that he was asking Candace what time she was gonna, how long she was gonna stay. And that's when he says, because he says, he asked Candace, "So what are you doing?" Candace says, "I'm going to Swimming Hole." And Donald said, "I might as well stay late because there's no point in me having to go home early there if they're out doing their thing." So I wonder at that time when he was calling her at the Walgreens, I just hit my elbow. I wonder if he was already done for the day, possibly. That's why I was trying to figure out. I need to figure out all those little times. Wonder if he was done. But then he was like, "Well, I might as well stay," like he's saying, because they're out. Hey, Huda, how are you? I had a friend, we used to call her Buddha. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hold on, I seen a comment. Where did it go? There it is. Did they go to the swimming hole at 12:30? I believe it was in that time frame. And the thing with the whole sleeping in the same bed, if you have children, some people don't agree, that they think, nope, you shouldn't be sleeping. And, my kids always had their own bed too, but, especially my youngest one, she would always creep up in the bed with us all the time. Never failed, always creeped up in the bed with us. And, she would like, kicking and kicking. She's a kicker, in her sleep and stuff like that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think the problem we have with this is Don's background. I think that's why we're like, okay, it makes us all feel uncomfortable because of his background. But a lot of kids end up going and sleeping in the same bed. Mine, when we moved out to Arizona, the younger one, she would always want to sleep with us. So I would literally take her mattress, put it in the room, and let her sleep right there with us. And because she was just too big at that time to fit on the bed with all of them, with us, it was just not going to happen. But I think it's Don's background that making us feel like, okay, this is making us feel uncomfortable based off what we have learned he has done, and again, he says he's did it, so people still are saying it's not true. He said he did it. So no, he was never charged with it. Yes, looking beyond. Yes. Hey, Harmony, how are you? Where did that comment go? Looking beyond says, so he's saying that's the first time his boss saw him drywalling in that car. Yes. And that's why his boss was making fun of him. So I do wonder, was that the first time he chose to drive that car, that vehicle? And he goes on to explain more about it and stuff like that. But, he does say it's because, it's just sitting there, might as well get use out of it. Could be the reason for it too. But it does, with everything, it is like, No, he was not convicted of it. No.
Horseshoe.
Yeah, and we tried and tried to make her sleep in her own bed, and she'd come to me with big tears in her eyes and say, "But Daddy, I want to sleep with you. Yeah. I want to be with you." And I couldn't say no. I just couldn't.
And how long has she been doing that?
For 5 years.
Wow.
All her life.
Every night?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's a bond.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. And so walk me through it. What time do you get up, and what do you remember last about seeing Summer?
All I remember is when I woke up, is her feet and her foot being under me, kind of, I remember her being there, and I covered her up a little bit or whatever and left, and she sleeps just right between me and Mom every night,
Right.
But, I just went to work, normal day. Luckily, I guess that a couple of guys I talked to that day, and the big boss seen me that day, knows where I was. And it wasn't 30 minutes, 40 minutes after Jamie left. From we sit there and talk for 30 minutes, just sit there and talk,
Yeah,
but after he left, Jamie's he's another finisher that was working out here.
Got it. So you leave the house. What car do you take that day? I forget.
I had the Subaru that day.
Okay. Yeah. Why didn't you take your truck that day? People are going to ask.
Well, because the car was just sitting there, and I'm paying these payments, $600 a month plus the insurance, and it's just sitting there. And I thought, well, I might as well get some use out of it. And I threw all my tools in there and started driving it for a little while, just because,
Yeah. And so
mainly product. Yeah. Go ahead.
So you take the truck, or the car. How far away is your job? What are you doing?
It is 45 minutes away in Jonesboro.
All right.
Yeah.
And then what time do you get there? Do you remember?
I don't. I probably went and had some breakfast, somewhere or whatever, and come out here. I don't remember for sure. No, I don't.
Okay. What?
I just want to say, I'm going to buy all of them a watch. I swear, I've never come across a case where nobody keeps track of time. Not one person. It's unbelievable with this case. Nobody. No one does. We know Candace doesn't. Donald can't remember times. The minor doesn't keep track of time. He doesn't know time either. It's like no one knows time here. Oh my gosh. Do they not own a watch? Just had to say that.
Time do you call Candace, if you remember? I'm just trying to figure out the timeline and the window.
I'm trying to think. I'd say, maybe 3 o'clock or something like that. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure of that at all.
And where was she when you called her? Do you know?
So I think she said she was either at Walgreens or headed to the lake, or I can't remember. Okay. But that's why I thought, well, I might as well just stay and work, because that's just what I do.
Okay, so that timeline wouldn't make sense, him calling her at 3 o'clock, because she says she left at 8 a.m. Candace says at 8 a.m. to take her mom to the emergency. She says it was around 8 a.m. is what she said. Of course, she could be wrong. And then they were there for a little bit. Then, the communication between her and H, and then she ends up over there for just a little bit, right? She doesn't stay there long. And then they go pick up grandma because she's done. And then they go to Walgreens to drop off the prescription. And it's when they go to the Walgreens the first time is when H says that Donald called her. So it couldn't have been 3. Like he's saying it must have been 3. So that doesn't add up at all. So that's just, I think, him mistaking. Maybe he did call her again a second time, because, I did think it was kind of interesting that H said that Donald called her every 2 hours. Like, how would you know that? I don't know. So maybe he called her again. I don't know.
Yeah, so when you got the call, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
Well, she called frantic, panicking. And I said, well, just in case, hang up and call 911. And, and I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was 5:30. To be honest with you, I don't trust police. And we showed them all the information on our phones because they wanted to know. They wanted to know the timeline. So we showed them right then. When I got there, they wanted to know all that. And they wrote it all down.
And when you got there, do you remember what time you arrived?
I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention. I was on Messenger with Candace as she was driving her mother's truck around looking for her in the area. Okay. So I talked to her the whole way there, and it's really kind of weird that we was able to talk all the way there because normally we don't have connection like that.
Okay, you guys. So you hear what he just said. Okay. So let me get back to my notes from the beginning. Hold on. Did you guys just hear what he said? So he's saying, so Chris asked him, and when you got there, do you remember what time you arrived, right? And he says, I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention. Of course, I was, he says, on Facebook Messenger with Candace as she was driving her mother's truck around looking for her in the area. I talked to her the whole way there. And it was really kind of weird that we were able to talk all the way there because normally we don't have a connection like that. So he's saying when Candace called him to tell him that Summer is missing, he stood on the phone with her the whole drive home. And he's saying it's kind of weird because we normally don't have that connection. Wow. Well, holy shit. Because in the beginning, what did Donald say in the beginning, you guys? When he was asked in the very beginning, when this interview started, he was asked, why were you so quick to come to that idea of your, Summer being taken? Immediately, you're on your way there, you pull up and you're like, she's been kidnapped. What led you to that, right? Donald said, I knew as soon as I pulled up because I didn't get a call back from Candace saying, oh, we found her. Wait a minute. You right now are saying that you are on the phone with her the whole way home. But in the beginning, you said you knew your daughter was kidnapped immediately because Candace didn't call you back saying, oh, we found her. So which one is it? Because those are two big different stories for me, you guys. Either you were on the phone with her all the way home or you weren't. And you knew your daughter was missing, kidnapped immediately because, Candace didn't call you back. Those are two different stories that are being told by Donald. And for me, those are the things that I think are red flag and inconsistency from this man. And that bothers me. I didn't get a call back from Candace saying, oh, she was found. And that's why he was so quick to think she was kidnapped. Well, holy shit, right here, you're saying you're on the phone with her the whole way home. And that's something else law enforcement would see. How long were they on the phone? And it's these inconsistencies that I think that law enforcement would be watching. And if, that is a different story. I don't know what to think with this case. I really don't. It's very alarming, these little things right here. Very alarming. Because Chris is asking him, which is a great question. Why? And it's something that we've all asked. Why were you so fast to think she was kidnapped? Like, yeah, I get your child and you say she would never wander off. And I really try to put myself in their shoes and try to think, well, if I knew my child never wandered off, I would think, well, someone did take her. But I would also be like, yes, check the surrounding area because she could have still wandered off, right? So when he says that, the reason he's giving the reason why and explaining why, he's saying it's because Candace didn't call him. But then now he's on the phone. Dude, those are two different stories, you guys. Two different stories. Just like with him giving this new information, the puppies weren't there. That's why they didn't bark. That's why someone was able to come on my property and us not know, because the dogs weren't there. Why are these little stories being added? Why are these little details being added? To me personally, my opinion, you guys, this is little red flags for me. And like I said, I didn't think, and I don't think Donald really, I really don't think Donald has anything to do with it. Only because of the data. And I don't even know why I'm holding on to the data. The law enforcement hasn't even told us anything yet, but I'm just thinking he can't be that stupid to say he's somewhere and then the data is going to show him somewhere else. He can't be that stupid and say, hey, my boss was there. He can confirm. And then the boss is being talked to like, I didn't go there that day. So for me, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Let me scroll up. Well, thank you, Heather. CCC with the receipts. Well, I listen to these interviews over and over and over again. And I write everything down. And it's when you write everything down and you go back and I literally, I highlight, I don't know if you guys can see, but I highlight things that stick out to me, and I'll put like a number, like 1 through 10. The higher the number, it's really alarming to me. So I usually go back and look at those. That's what I do. That's what I do in my life. Oh my gosh. Yep, Marilyn, inconsistencies. Very true. Oh gosh, yes. She did lie in her interviews, T. Yeah, Marie, he keeps saying that Summer will never come back and he thinks she is dead. Why? Yeah, that's really early on. He was saying things like that. From his first interviews, he was saying these things, right? Maybe he's just preparing himself for the worst in his head. Maybe he thinks that way. I don't know. Sammy says, for one thing, they do drugs and that affects memory. And they are lying to cover their butts, in my opinion. Nellie says, that's how I've always taken notes, even in high school. Okay, let me hit play.
Right.
Since yeah, it's kind of odd.
And what was she driving?
Her mother's truck.
That the Chevy, the Silverado?
Yeah, yeah.
And what was Grandma doing when you showed up?
I don't even know what she was doing. I think talking to the police and probably just standing there looking or whatever. I don't know.
And what were the boys doing?
Looking for Summer. And then once all the police started arriving, they, bottlenecked all the roads. Nobody could move. So they was in a state of confusion and panic, I'd say.
Now,
cops in and out.
Was there a car at the bottom of your driveway when you pulled up? Like a
no
cop car or anybody? You just pulled right
There
in?
was nobody there. I was the first one there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what about when you got...
Okay, so what are your guys' thoughts on this? Where Donald saying when he first arrived, there was nobody on the scene. No cops had been there yet. He drove right up. But if you remember in Chris's interview, he says that he talked to law enforcement, and he said that law enforcement was there at the bottom when Don arrived. So that's really confusing to me. Yeah, that broke my heart too when he said that. She says, earlier that day, I truly think he's drinking, causing him to mix up his own story, which could be true. Could be true. Right, buddy? How can grandma be talking to law enforcement if they weren't there yet? Sword of Spirit just straight out says because he's lying. You know, I keep hearing that about Don. A lot of people are saying that, giving people that Barry Morphew vibes. I keep seeing that a lot everywhere. I mean, it could be like someone saying if he is drinking again, all this stuff, you know, all he's getting mixed up with everything. But then there's that saying though, when you're telling the truth, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't, there's no change in it when you're telling the truth, you know? It's when you lie that you can't keep up with your own story. It starts switching here and there. You know what I mean? Yeah, yes. And they had, yes, see, thank you. Where's that comment? See, and Chris said that also, that they had to verify who he was before letting him on the property. So then I wonder, was he there before and then he left and then he came back, and that's when he came back is when law enforcement was there? Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. And I don't think Chris from the interview room is going to lie about something like that.
Out there, what was your first impression of where you should search first?
Well, that's why I drove down to the bottom, because I didn't even go to the house. I went straight by that shed on the bottom.
Yeah, is that the one where off the bottom of your property to the
Yes,
left?
yes.
Okay.
I got that little dirt road. I went past that. I went straight down that hill, straight to the creek, and that's when I seen my boys. And then I seen my neighbor Don walking to the left side. The boys were on the other side of the hill, and I knew, like I say, I knew my heart just sank right there. I just knew she was gone.
And what brought you to that place first and not to the house?
Well, I figured they was looking all over the house, you know, and I was thinking, well, they probably ain't been out buying property yet or anything, so that's what made me drive down there first.
Okay.
You know.
And then, did you go into that shed?
No.
Is that
did.
yours too, by the way, real fast?
Yeah, that's ours. Well, I did. I don't know if I checked it then or later, but I know I did go in there and look, but I'm not sure if it was right then or. I might have parked and walked in there and looked real quick. I just don't remember. But once I knew she was gone, I went to the top of the house. You know, went up the driveway up there.
Well, so why wouldn't you have gone into the shed? I'm curious.
I may have. I just can't be sure on that. Okay. If I did, I went in there, but I'm not sure if I went in there right then or if I went in there at a later time. I'm not sure.
Okay. And then go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, once the police started arriving and everything, I was like, man, I'm going to go question all these damn drug dealers and everything like that. And, you know, and they reluctantly said, you know, go ahead. I says, I think y'all should put pressure on them and get a list of every person they know. And if it was me, I'd lock them up or whatever and then start asking questions, but it's not up to me. But
yeah, why would you do that? Why from your perspective?
Because, okay, Ben Hill Road, you know, I don't want to get him in trouble or nothing, but everybody goes back there looking for pills, meth, or whatever it is they're looking for, you know. And we see all kinds driving back through there. We even see a car coming back there just barely running on 2 cylinders, just everything they got to get back there to ask him if he's got a pill or whatever, you know. It's crazy. I mean, my neighbor has caught people parked in our driveways, sitting there doing drugs, you know, either early in the morning, late at night, or whatever, many times over.
So, like I said in the beginning, they seem to live in an area where a lot of illegal activity is happening. It seems like they're right there smack in the middle. Based off of what Donald is saying, people park, if this is true again, people park in his driveway doing things like illegal activities. People are going back and buying, stuff. And that's really scary. If people are on his property, that could be somebody who could have, seen the family up there, seeing the kids, seeing Summer. So somebody could have, that could be someone who could have in there, someone who, I don't think it would have been for, the drug thing, but I think if they're a sick person, then maybe they sought out Summer. That could be it. Um, I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna scoot on up to right here.
On the top of the mountains.
Okay. Over by is that Cherokee in that area?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just going by what they told me.
Yeah, that's
cool. But I believe it.
Now, and then, so getting back to the baby here, because this is all this information. I appreciate it. I'm just, we're gonna flush through it. So,
yeah.
Now, when you get back to the house, do the cops ask you to hang on and stay on the property, or walk me through that day?
Well, they kind of want me to stay there or whatever, but I'm like, man, you need to let me go question at least the drug dealers that I know of and find out, and let me at least try to figure out something. I can't just sit here and do nothing.
Do you think the drug dealer took her?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I've talked to him, and he might wheel and deal to keep himself going or whatever like that. But I just don't see him as being that kind of a person. No.
Have you known any kids to be traded for dope?
Never in my life. I've never even heard of anything like that before.
Okay.
I think it'd be interesting to see if one would even do anything like that. Because I think most of them tell you that they'd probably beat the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. But I think some of them...
Okay, so this part to me makes no sense. It's a little confusing, to be honest with you. For one, he's saying he's never heard of, someone trying to sell their kids for drugs. Well, isn't that what he was being accused of before? So he's heard of it before. So that's a lie. But another thing, when he's bringing up this other person, he's saying, he brings up this other person, and then Chris says, do you think he would do something like when he's saying that I told the cops I want to go talk to this drug dealer, right? And then Chris is like, so you think he would do this? And then he says, well, no, I don't think he would do it. He doesn't seem that type of person. Like, then why did you want to go talk to him? Like, I don't know. I didn't understand. This whole part to me was kind of like, what is he even talking about?
I think some of them got more integrity than that, even though they're a damn drug dealer,
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, with the intensity of meth and, crazy,
yeah.
Right? Is it possible?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. The thing that to get at me, and we know he has an alibi, but that doesn't mean that he didn't get. And we know that they have ties because of Facebook. These detectives have told me that they have ties. They've worked with him. They know each other. I know he was psycho.
You say these detectives, not TBI, the people you're working with.
Right.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll gladly give you their number if maybe you guys can get together. I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't hardly trust anybody anymore. I don't trust the police anymore. There's just so much weird stuff. It just blows me away.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts for sure. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's not my first rodeo, though, as you know.
Right.
I'm sure you've done your homework, and so I want to stay focused on that day, because it's critical that day.
Yes.
And you say this guy, you have this feeling that this guy's involved. What brings you to that feeling, even though you say he has an alibi?
Because he would have done anything to get back at me.
So revenge.
Like I say, yeah, revenge. He tried everything in the world, and he told them all kind of stuff to try to get me fired. And all I would say in my defense is, see, that's what he does every.
Okay, Shannon. Again, he's talking about his coworker, the one that he said he suspected from the very beginning. He's the one person that he said this also in Facebook. And we talked, like I said earlier, we talked about it. That's the photo of the yellow vehicle. Summer's, dancing right there. Sorry, I'm late. I'll be back. Okay, open minds. Don't worry about it, love bug. Just glad you're here. Also, I do kind of feel if some of this deception we're picking up on, if it's because of his past or activities they're probably involved with, I do think that sometimes too with it. The answers are, yep, that's so true. Angel Wings says the answers are in the electronic footprint. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I keep saying with Donald, with the phone data, it's going to put him where he says he was. If it puts him close to the house, then that's alarming for me, and that will change how I do things. So I am just holding off to say anything when it comes to Don, just based off, coworkers will verify if he was at work at that time, if his phone records are going to show he was there at that time. Okay.
And whatever they told my boss, he was just shaking in his boots. He's like, man, I can't do this. So they got me fired.
And what were you in custody for? Can I ask you that?
Well,
I mean, I can find out. You know that.
Well, yeah. Somebody was. This guy is having a hard time with. He was messing with my sister, causing her a lot of trouble, and that's just an excuse. There's no excuse for what I did. But I hot wired his truck. I took everything out of his garage, Harley stuff, everything, and loaded it through the back truck and sold the truck and all for nothing. But there's no excuse. I did what I did. It was wrong.
Okay. I've heard worse. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, that, stuff like that.
What else you've been locked up for? I mean, what other things have you done?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Come on.
I've made trips to Mexico.
Were you running? Were you running down?
Yeah, I bought cocaine. And
yep.
Totaled a brand new truck coming back out of Mexico once, just up for days on end, thinking I'd get out in the middle of nowhere, think the Indians after me, I'd get back out on the freeway, and I think the cops after me. I didn't know which way to turn. Out in the middle of the desert,
Yeah. And you used to take the 5 down or the 15?
Yeah. I think, we went to El Paso.
Oh, yeah, Texas.
Yeah. And I just turned, and that turned into a big nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah,
yeah.
That's like the
I was lost out there in southern Utah somewhere. I didn't know which end was up or down. Yeah.
So you were running dope. You've done, it sounds like you stole the guy's truck. And then
let's just say I tried to run dope. Okay. It's hard for a doper to run dope. Yeah, that is a I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a very true story, man, right there. Yeah. Right there. And now, what about when this thought process comes to my mind here for a minute about what was she wearing that morning when you same? Well, when she was asleep next to me, I'm not sure. As I just woke up and they stayed in bed and I got gone to work. I'm not sure, but I know the picture of her wearing where she's asleep by the milk jugs. That's what she was wearing when she was kidnapped. Okay. So
Yes, Mexico is something that he was saying in the very beginning. If you guys remember the trafficking and all that stuff. And I just thought it was interesting how he says that's what she was wearing when she was kidnapped, not when she was reported missing, when she was kidnapped. He's making sure everybody knows.
it's the same outfit.
Yes.
And is that the outfit Candace said did she change when she went back in the house, or do we know?
I don't think so. That's the outfit she was going to wear for her first day of school.
Oh, so this is the outfit. So it had some sentimental value for her.
Yeah.
Did she pick it out?
I don't know. I'm always at work, and I'm glad she got to go to all these places with her daughter. For the first 2 years, 18 months or so, Summer, when she was born, she didn't want her mother. She only wanted me.
Wow.
And that just blew me away. I just couldn't believe it, that she only wanted me. And Candace coerced her all these years by taking her to all these places, fishing and stuff. And it took all this time to get, but Summer loved her mother. It took time. And I don't know why she was just so attached to me like that. I've never had anything like that happen to me before. And I was just so thankful, I thank God, because I've never had anybody love me like that.
Yeah.
This part is really strange for me too, because it seems like Don is saying that Summer wasn't close to Candace. Right here when he says that, when they're talking about going, about the outfit, he says, let me see what he says. I don't know, I don't know. I'm always at work, he's saying. He says, I'm glad she got to go all these places with her daughter, meaning he's glad that Candace was able to go all these places with his daughter. For the first 2 years, 18 months or so, Summer, when she was born, she didn't want her mother. She only wanted me. And then he says, this blew me away. I just couldn't believe it. She only wanted me. And Candace coursed her all these years by taking her to all these places, taking her fishing and stuff. And it took all this time to get, and then he stops and he says, Summer loved her mother. And I wonder if he was going to say it took all this time to get Summer to love her mother, which it just seems so odd what he's saying. He says, I don't know why she was just so attached to me like that. I never had, and then he goes on to say, he never had anything like that happen to him before. But it just seems, based off what Don is saying, that Candace and Summer didn't have that mother-daughter bond or something. It's really odd how he says this. And that Candace had to take her places to get her to love her. Isn't that, I don't know, it's just really weird. And there was rumors that, Candace was jealous of Summer. There was rumors of it. And, hearing Don saying all these things, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it's clear Don is, Summer loved me. She loved me, not you, Mom. She loved me. Yeah, right, Heather? Because of Don's history, it does sound weird. And I wonder, how does Candace feel about this? Let me see. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Yes, please, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Just let me know what you think. Let me see. Right. So if dad was always at work, right? He's always at work. Did he work back then when Summer was that small? Was he home? Because if dad's always gone and mom, like, she's the primary caregiver to her, I would think she'd be closer to her mom. I know we have daddy's little girl. It's just odd that the way Dawn talks about it, like Summer only loved him, is the vibe I'm getting. And Candace had to take her everywhere just to get her to love her. And he had to work all the time, so he couldn't go. I don't know. It's weird to me. And if Candace had nothing to do with this, because again, we don't know. I'm just gonna say I feel for her being with a man like Donald. I'm just gonna say that right now. Based off everything we're seeing, I'm just gonna say that. I know you all watched that prayer vigil, and I know you all had comments about it. I noticed it all too.
No, I get it. What about? I want now. This one's going to be a hard question. Okay, so.
It's all right, brother. It's all right.
Oh well, I'm being straight with you. So,
Right.
what your ex-wife years ago talked?
Yeah.
Tell me about that scenario where she went over and got the kids.
My ex-wife got the kids. I don't know what you're talking about there.
Well, she said that, by the way, are you guys still on talking terms? Just I might as well clear this.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, I don't have no problem with her. I think she's gotten clean. Okay. She's had years of meth problems, but I think she's finally gotten clean and she's somewhat got her head straightened out.
Okay.
So we've been talking, but
yeah, there was where she said that you were kind of spun out and that your kids got with somebody else and she didn't know about it and she went and got them. I
don't know anything about that. I have no idea. I never heard that anything like that.
Okay. And that's why I'm asking you. I mean, right? Yeah. I always go right to the source. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that kicks down a lot of information. Either way, and no matter what, I mean, people are gonna, if she tells somebody this or that, there's a lot of he said, she said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. That cocaine thing for me was really tough for me to get over for years. And I'm not gonna say a lie to you.
Are you doing any drugs now? And will the cops?
No.
Did they take your blood?
They test us. Yes, I'm clean. I don't do nothing. I won't even pick up a beer.
Okay, so
well, for one thing, if I drink beer, then I do want that crap, so I won't even touch a beer.
Right. So, but they took your blood.
Yeah, they drug test us. Yes.
Yeah, that's typical in these kind of high profiles like this. And what about Candace? Both of you?
Well, she was dirty for weed.
Okay.
Okay. But she quit after all this has happened with Summer. She's quit that, and now I'm just trying to get her to work on the alcohol.
Right.
Because I'm like, she started drinking last night, and she quit for like 2 days. I'm like, Candace, when you drink, it just makes it hard on me. Now I got to babysit you and everything else, and it just ain't right.
Now this is another hard question. All right. Yeah. If and by the way, I had heard that too. So I was thinking through that. So that leads me to think, could she have been high and that would have played a role in not necessarily, just where she's not paying attention or grandma's not paying attention. And does grandma?
Now what you're gonna see, hi girl interrupted. Now what you're gonna see is Chris is gonna do, he's gonna start asking questions leading into, could this have been an accident? And we've seen this with the Chris Watts case when, Tammy Lee started asking, her and Graham started leading into that of, could this have been an accident? Because an accident we can work with. So I thought it was interesting how he's going to start going into that thing of, is it possible an accident could have happened, to see what he says about it.
Grandma smoke?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And the thing about that is she won't smoke during the day.
Okay.
And she will not drive and smoke because she's so afraid that she's going to get a DUI and all that. And so she will not touch it.
Okay.
But she'll smoke a little bit at night. If she has a few drinks, she might smoke a little bit and then she's going to bed. That's it. End of canvas.
Okay.
Until she wakes up in the morning and then look out.
Got it.
I'm sorry, but I just thought that was so funny what he says about, she'll smoke a little bit at night and then she's done. And then until she wakes up, watch out. But my question to you guys is, smoking the vape, does that give you a head change? The tobacco vapes. No, it doesn't give you a head change? Okay. Thank you, Jamie. Miss KJ said, it's just weird because they're giving him so many other options to go with, and he's sticking with what this one, that's the main reason. I just don't think he did it. So basically, they're giving him opportunity to slip up, and he keeps sticking to what he's saying. Well, if you remember too, didn't Chris also said that he said Don would be a good storyteller? Is that what he said? Because he's done forgery or some shit like that, he said. The thing though that Don said, and he's gonna say it, is that when Candace drinks, when you drink and you're in emotion, you're all emotional and stuff like that. If an accident did happen on Candace's watch, when she's been drinking and emotional, would those truths have came out to Don? Okay, so my vape is weaker. Okay. Drug addicts learn to lie. Very true. Very true. So far, he said an abduction, bear, disgruntled employee, kidnapping. Yeah, and don't forget, I know Candace has said, also the guys over there trimming the trees. That was something that was pushed out to me. It could have been them. What does it mean? Watch out in the AM? I don't know. I was thinking possibly he means that Candace is kind of grumpy in the morning. When he said that, that's what I took that as, Valerie. I'm not sure, but I noticed that too, and I thought it was funny.
Got it. And then what? Tell me about Hunter. What's his play here?
I have no idea what the deal is with that because every time I've ever seen him, when he comes over to our house, he plays with the kids. He's always been real gentle, real good. He always comes up and gives me a hug, and I try to be as nice to him as I can because I know he doesn't have a father, or or whatever. He lives in town in HUD housing or whatever, so he don't get out in the country and stuff. And so I've just tried to be really nice to him, and he's always been good and give me a hug and everything every time I've ever seen him.
Okay.
And so this is all just since Summers disappeared and they all turned on us. That just blew me away. I'm like, why? It's like they're trying to divert attention to us for some reason.
And what about, and just, he said that obviously threw you guys, in different directions. And, and there's a lot of different, there's two sides always to every story.
Right.
And,
absolutely.
Some person says this, another person says that, but somewhere in between is the truth.
Yeah, that's right.
That's always the way these things unfold.
Yes.
And so, what about his mom?
You know what? I think the welfare. I know that she called the welfare on us. That's why the welfare was on us, and why they was worried about the weed thing, and they was fixing to close our case. But I think that she thought we called the welfare on her, and she was trying to get back at us. But we don't do that unless it's necessary.
Oh, so revenge again, right?
Yeah. We never called the welfare on her. We wouldn't do that unless, like I say, if there's a reason to, yeah. But other than that, we're not going to call just for revenge or whatever.
Right.
But I think that's why she called them on us, because, for revenge. But for why, what I still don't understand is why, when they found out the summer was gone, that's the instant they turned on us big time.
Interesting.
The very instant, yes. Very interesting.
And why is that, though? Why do you think?
I started wondering, did they have something to do with her abduction? Because they was at the parade when the church made that banner for Summer, and they was walking down the parade with Summer's picture on it. Yeah. They was sitting there at that parade laughing, pointing their fingers. You ain't got your little girl no more.
Now, again, I don't know if this part is true. What Don is saying, it could be a lie, right? But he's saying that he's starting to wonder if they had something to do with the abduction. And I wonder if he is feeling that, if he's addressed that or voiced that to law enforcement. And he's saying that at the parade, the one with Robin and Candace holding the banner, that they were laughing and pointing, saying, "You don't have your little girl no more." So that could be a lie. We don't know if that's true, if that happened, but if it did, that's sad. That's really sad if they behave like that, because no matter what, you should never tell someone, no matter what we think, you shouldn't do that. So again, I don't know if that's true, if he's just saying that. And then I thought Don wasn't at that parade. Does anybody know if Don was at that parade? Because all this can't be over Jose, can it? I mean, he didn't even like girls, so I don't understand why that would be, to be honest with you. It seems that it started over Allie's daughter. The whole thing about, and Candace talks about this, and Allie talks a little bit about this, that her daughter used to go over there too, and then they had an incident, and then it just stopped. It seems like that's when things started falling apart. It could have been just added things to it, you know what I'm saying? That just escalated. And maybe the Jose thing was like the breaking, it was like, oh, that's it. Jojo says he was jealous of Jose. Was he jealous of age? Good question. Good question. No, Ellie said he hit on her 16-year-old daughter. That's right. You're right. He made that comment on the social media because she posted something. You're right. And she got upset over that with Jose. But I mean, what could have been, what really, what caused this big falling out between them? Because it seems like for that first year, they seem to be close based off what they both said. And then when you look at Candace's Facebook, she has a lot of photos with this family. You don't believe Don was at work that day. Well, when that data comes out, we're going to learn where he was. Yeah, Shelly, I agree. Yeah, buddy, that's what I was thinking, because isn't that where that whole story came out, that Candace had told someone that Donald wasn't there? She woke up and he was gone that day. So again, this is coming, what he's saying right now about the banner and, Allie and them saying, you don't have your kid anymore. That must be being told to him from, obviously, Candace.
I couldn't believe that. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even do that to my enemies.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And
Candace cried. And it just.
I'm hoping that. Man, I can't only imagine what that must have felt like, as a family.
Right.
And what about, with what puts you in your mind that maybe he could be involved?
Well, because he'll do whatever his mother says. For money, she'll give him money for cigarettes, or let him do his little thing, whatever that is. I'm not sure. Let him do his little thing if he lies for it. And I'm getting this from Candace, that I know everything he said was just absolute craziness on your interview.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then, but what would be his motive other than just to get back at? And plus, did he have access to her that day after Candace dropped him off?
Well, we know that we give that little girl, I can't remember her name ever. She's like half black, half white. I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name. But her and Summer loved each other, and we give her a puppy. And that puppy, when it got older, next thing we know, it's at our house. So we know they drove out there and dumped it off.
When?
At our house. Not sure when. Probably, I'm not exactly sure when. Candace might be able to answer that question better than I can, and then maybe I can get back with you later or something.
Yeah.
But I'd say about, I don't know.
It was before
before summer was, yes.
Yeah.
A week or two before summer disappeared, yes.
Okay, so I want to focus on, that day, right? Because that's the critical part for us to kind of sort through, what's reality, what's not reality.
Right.
And we got dope on him involved, in terms of different people, and people tweak and hallucinate, and they do all kinds of weirdness, right?
Right.
So that doesn't help Summer.
No.
We've got to make sure that we've got a clarity of focus on what time it is here. Now here's another question then that comes to my mind. In your heart of hearts, what do you want to happen to the person that did this?
Well, I'm afraid if I run into him, it's not going to be good.
Okay, walk me through.
I really am. Well, I'm not a violent person at all. But when I see somebody hurt a little kid or something, I can't help myself. I don't know what it is. Something just triggers in me. If I see someone being cruel and it don't have to be my kid. It can be anybody's kid. I see somebody being cruel to an animal, I tend to flip. I don't know why. I don't mean to. You got to understand that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what do you think should happen? What do you think should happen?
I have to leave it to God, and I know what prison's like, and I have mercy for anybody who's in prison, because you're lucky if you get out of there alive.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So would you want to see this person in prison?
I don't know if I could do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It just depends on all the circumstances,
What if it was an accident?
Well, that's different, and accidents happen,
Right.
So what do you guys think about that? Him saying that? Because usually, you know, this is something that we also seen again in the Chris Watts case. Remember, they asked him the same thing. What would you, if his family was hurt, what would you like to see happen? And I think Chris Watts said something like he knew that they didn't have the death penalty or something like that. I don't know, some dumb comment. But they asked this question, I think, to see, like, if you are the one who did it, you're not going to want to say, oh, they should, you know, go to prison and get all these bad things happen to you, right? So how the first thing he says is that, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that, to be honest. When he says, do you think this person should go to prison? He says, I don't know if I could do that, to be honest with you. It just depends on the circumstances. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I know people are going to say it's because, you know, he's, you know, trying to be the bigger person because of his beliefs with, you know, God and all that stuff. But I don't know. And then when Chris said, what if it was an accident? And he says, well, that's different, you know, and accidents happen, you know. I mean, but we're still talking about his daughter. I don't know. This part did stick out to me, though. I'll be honest. It did. Again, it could just be his belief of, you know, trying to be the bigger person. Debbie's like, no, it's not because of God. uh-huh. You know, even with, you know, I'm going to just bring up this case again because it's a case I know so well. Even, you know, let's just really quick talk about the Chris Watts case. You know, you have Shanann Watts' family. They're very, you know, they were very religious and they believed in their faith, right? Well, they believed in their faith, and that's why they didn't want the death penalty, right? But they wanted him in prison. That's one thing they wanted, but they just didn't, you know, they didn't, because of their faith, they didn't believe in the death penalty. But it's just interesting how he's like saying he doesn't even think he could put them in prison. I don't know. It just sticks out. Phoenix, in a little bit, he does bring up God. He does bring up God with it. Because I think Chris asks him this question. I think he asks him this question like 3 times or something like that about what do you think should happen? Because he asked it a little while ago too. Did he say that? Let me see. Let's try it right here. He said, So Chris says, so what do you think should happen? Don says, I have to leave it to God, you know, and I know what prison's like. I have mercy for anybody who's in prison because you're lucky if you get out of there alive anyway. Chris says, so would you want to see this person in prison? Don pauses and he says, I don't know if I could do that. To be honest with you, it just depends on the circumstances. And that's when Chris says, well, what if it was an accident? And he says, well, that's different, you know, an accidents happened, you know. I don't know. But this is, you know, Chris is using his background for sure. Everyone will agree for sure in this interview, completely using his background skills with talking to Don, because a lot of these things I was like, oh, I remember all that with the Chris Watts case when they were talking to Chris, when Graham was talking to Chris, also when Tammy was questioning Chris Watts. So I was like, some of these questions are all the same.
Anyway.
So would you want to see this person in prison?
I don't know if I could do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no,
it just depends on all the circumstances, you know.
What if it was an accident?
Well, you know, that's different, you know. And accidents happen, you know.
Right. And could this have been an accident?
I have no idea. I know if Candace, had an accident or something, she'd call the authorities right away.
Right.
I know that she's not devious like that. She's a good person.
I believe you.
She wants to be a good person.
And
she wants to.
Don, I told you the first time we talked that I had a lot of respect for the fact that she talked. And one of my thought process is, as this whole thing unwinds, I mean, is it possible that maybe Grandma hurt her by accident and it just got out of control? I mean, the goal here is to find Summer and to put the truth on the table, right?
Right. Well, I think if that was the case, she would have either called me or authorities right away. I don't think they would do that because I think they realize, even this much later, if it was an accident, it's better to go to the authorities and tell the truth. Accident's an accident. I don't think they're that stupid like that.
No, I'm not saying they are.
No, I know you're not. I'm not. I'm just saying I don't think they would. I just don't see that.
Is it possible though? I mean, I'm really trying to help you.
Right. And I've thought about that scenario myself, but when I think about the day that she called me hysterically and freaking out and everything, I just don't think so.
Well,
I don't believe so.
But you see, it crossed your mind. It could have been. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. And because the worst case scenario is the last thing anybody wants. If this is an accident, then it's an accident.
Right.
Okay. And that's the way it is.
Okay? Yeah.
And then what happens then is everything gets shut down and everybody says, "Oh my gosh, it's an accident."
Well, if it were an accident, I don't think Candace would be on Facebook 24/7 for the first week like I was.
Right.
Trying to get the story out, putting all the pictures out, and everything that she's been trying to do.
Okay, so this part really did upset me, you guys, because Dawn says, I'm gonna grab my phone. Dawn, oh, did it die? Oh, you freaking kidding me. I gotta grab a charger. Dawn said, well, if it was an accident, I don't think Candace would be on Facebook 24/7 for the first week like I was trying to get the story out. So, by Candace putting the photo out, pictures of her out there. Let's talk about that really quick, okay? Hold on, let me grab my charger. Okay, so Dawn is saying, I'm going to pull it up right here. Hold on. So Dawn's saying basically that, Candace the first week was on Facebook 24/7 for that first week. Like, he was trying to get the story out. They were putting the pictures out, just trying to get, obviously, everyone to, attention on that. So give me 1 second. Because when he said that, it bothered me. I'm going to be honest with you. It really did, because that is not true. That is not true, you guys. Okay, hold on. So, Candace has two Facebooks, right? She has the Candace Bly, and then she has Candace Well. So, in the beginning, I didn't know about Candace Bly one. I only knew of the Candace Wells. So, let's see if she was posting a lot that first week of her daughter missing, shall we? Now, I'm not going to share the screen. I'm going to read it to you guys. And if my phone was charged, I'd be able to show you on there. Okay, hold on. Okay. So on Dawn says the first week they posted, right? So Summers reported missing June 15th, 6:30, right? So Candace updates her cover photo on June 16th at 8 p.m. And it's the missing flyer asking for Kingsport help. So when's the next time she posts for her daughter? June 28th. So that first week of her missing, she only posted one time. Once. One flyer on June 16th at 8 p.m. Her next update would have been on June 28th, and that's a missing flyer. Then June 28th, she does another one a minute later, and this one was about the $50,000 reward. Has Summer's picture on. It's one of my favorite pictures of Summer. Then July 3rd, she posts, but it's about a song, and then nothing about Summer. And then July 8th, she has other posts, but nothing to do with Summer. Okay. Then July 8th, she has this YouTuber's video she shared twice. Summer Wells, Donald, and Candace Wells, this message is for you in Jesus' name, amen. And then she posted about her daughter with her face and the reward thing again, that flyer, July 10th, July 12th, July 12th, and then July 27th. And that's it. So that first week, she only posted once. One time. She posted once also on TikTok. Okay. So again, some people can say, well, maybe she wasn't a social media person, but if you look at her social media, especially TikTok, that's not true. Not true. She is a social media person. Okay. So I'm just saying, Donald saying that, based off what and I'm just saying based off of what Donald is saying. Okay, that's all I'm doing. So don't shoot me, the messenger. I'm just telling you guys that first week she only posted once, and it was on June 16th, and it was at 8 p.m. Okay, so she wasn't all up there. Just saying. All right, hold on, guys. All opinions are welcome. Just be respectful, guys. That's all I ask. Just don't cuss. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, that's fine. You're entitled to that. I don't get upset over different opinions. You guys, I don't. I like talking to people who have different opinions. I just don't like when people cuss. I don't like when people, say things as if it's a fact when you don't know because you weren't there. I like, if you have an opinion, say it. I have an opinion. I'm saying it. Dawn's saying right here. Candace would be all on her Facebook 24/7 the first week, and him too, trying to put the pictures out and stuff like that. But then that is not true. Okay. That is not true. It was one photo that whole week. All right. Let me play this.
And same as me, trying to do the same thing, putting ourselves out there, getting, put down left and right over and over and over and crying, constantly. And that's the worst thing she can do is drink, because then she just turns to all tears. Even when the policeman brought her a bottle one night, I'm like, oh gosh, that was really nice of him, but man, all her emotions come out, and I'm sure I just, no, I don't think it's possible. I really don't.
Okay, so then we have to ask ourselves, let's eliminate, did she fall down the stairs and, everybody, panics. Okay?
No.
I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking out loud.
Right.
How does she get out of the basement? If that's
up them little stairs. She was real agile. I mean, she swing around like a monkey. She could pull her body weight up on a swing. The boys can't even do that.
Right. So from the moment Candace is dealing with mom, and when do you think would have been the moment somebody would have snatched her?
Right. Either somebody was laying in wait,
right,
in the basement, or that dog trail there, because if you just have a little bit of camouflage on them, you're not going to see them.
Right.
And so they could have snatched her quick.
What did your boys say?
They were glued to the TV. They weren't, and you can't say nothing to them. They're just in la la land.
Right.
They were all glued to that damn TV and their games on their phones, everything. So they,
Were they playing any games?
Yeah, they were playing games, and they was on YouTube watching. I forget what that is. It's like a puzzle game where you build stuff on there. I don't know. I forget what it's called, but they loved watching that.
Oh, Minecraft?
Minecraft, yeah. I love that.
I used to call it Minecraft.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, exactly.
And so, what did each of your sons tell you?
Well, one time me and Josie, he just started crying. I don't even remember what I said to him or what. And he says, "Dad, it's not my fault." And he was crying. I said, "I know, son. I know it's not your fault. I'm sorry, whatever." And I don't even remember what I said to him or what to make him cry. But I just remember him saying, "It's not my fault." And I felt bad. But we ain't been the same. We ain't gonna be the same.
So that's so sad right there, what he says. And I think, Don, you remember what you told your son. You were probably blaming your son for what happened to Summer. It sounds like that based off what he's saying right here. And Josie, that's the oldest one. Is he the older one? Do you guys know if he's the older one? And it's so sad that he was saying, "Dad, it's not my fault." And he was crying. Yes, he's the oldest one. Okay, thank you. And, one thing that I think we talked about before, looking at the photos, it was the oldest one always that was, in a lot of those photos, he was the one next to Summer a lot of times. He would be holding her hand, he would be holding her. I wonder if she had a closer relationship with him because he is the oldest one. That's something I had thought about just based off looking at the photos. But when Don says, but we ain't been the same, talking about him and his son, and we ain't ever, he says, and ain't gonna be the same. I wonder what he means by that. Is that based off of Summer being gone, that him and his son are never going to be the same? Their relationship? I don't know. That part, the way he says it, just made my heart break for his son right there. Because at the end of the day, they didn't do anything wrong.
What was your other boy say?
Wyatt told my wife that if he would have went downstairs with Summer like she wanted him to, she wouldn't be gone. He feels like he's kind of guilty of it too.
And then your other?
Waylon's too young. He's just too young to understand right now.
And what were they playing hide and seek maybe?
No, they were all upstairs. The boys were playing Minecraft, watching Minecraft and playing games on their phone like they always do. They get stuck on it.
Right. Now, when the kids, their brothers and sisters, did they play a lot of hide and seek? That's a great place to play it up there.
Yeah, they have a few times, but at that time, they.
Does anybody know, because this isn't the first time Chris has said this about the hide and seek game. What is he trying to, there's a reason he keeps asking that, and I can't seem to figure out there's a reason every question he asks Donald, right? And this isn't the first time he's said this about the hide and seek game. So I'm just wondering what's really behind that question. Is it to see if there's hiding spots there that no one knows about? I don't know.
From everything I've heard, they wasn't. And then two, they took the boys to some specialists somewhere to be questioned.
Oh, good.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Okay.
Because they can't just come out and ask them questions. They have to take them to specialists. So they was gone for quite a while. They had to drive them quite a ways away.
Right. And what do you think they shared with them?
The truth. Yeah, just everything I've told you.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is the absolute truth.
Yeah. No, kids have a tough time. Depends on the totality of the circumstances.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Go ahead. And I called TBI and says, look, I'm going to go over here and get this address for you. I took off work, drove clear over there, got the address. I said, I think you need to check it out because they had a truck in service at that time that had that ladder rack thing on it. I said, it's not here now, but they did have one in the shop there.
And plus, that truck. Where's that truck come into this?
I have no idea. Somebody said that they seen it parked in our driveway when Summer got gone. So it's just an eyewitness account.
Now,
but that
at the bottom of the hill or the top of the hill?
In our driveway at the bottom.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in our driveway, at the bottom.
Now the red truck thing. I had seen someone was like, where did this come from? TBI didn't put that out until later. And the red truck thing was circulating from the beginning. They knew about the red truck too, because what was being said was that a neighbor had seen this red truck on the property, like what Donald's saying right here. And I wonder why TBI took so long to put that information out, because that is something that was being said from the very beginning.
Somebody's seen it, supposedly. But that's all it is. It's just an eyewitness account or whatever. And he had never found this truck. But it could have been the one where his dad works. They might have took that truck over there in prison as out on parole. And I mentioned all that to him. I supposedly searched all them. But he probably, he could have, I don't know. When you got them kind of connections and you hang around with druggies, and they're into all these, criminal activities, you can basically make a lot of stuff happen if you wanted to.
Right.
And stealing somebody's little girl is probably not too far-fetched.
Do you think she's alive?
Well, after all the dreams that I've had, two of them sent to me via Facebook, and the one that I had and the one that Candace had, I'm not sure. She's either in a really well-to-do place or it was her last thoughts.
Interesting.
Because of the dreams. And I'm going to write those dreams down in writing and share them with everybody.
Yeah. And what about when you said early on your thoughts? Walk me through what you were thinking early when you were seeing her and in your mind in certain places, and even when I talked to you the last time, your thought about maybe she's dead and buried. Where did that come from?
Because the dream that I had, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I was at a construction site, but this was a commercial construction site, and I haven't done commercial since I left Houston. But this had these real big steel studs in it, and the day was just it was more beautiful than any day I've ever seen in my life. It was like perfect, and this building I in was beautiful, and I was working on it. And Summer was sitting there on the floor playing with her dolls or something, and she was dressed beautifully. I've never seen her so more beautiful, and the dream was like heaven, I guess you could say. And I said, Summer, where were you? And she says, down the road, and it was just like a perfect, beautiful dream, that I can't explain. I haven't had no other dreams since whatsoever. And then Candace's dream was that they were fishing, her and Summer, and she caught a fish, and she was really super happy, and she reeled it in, and she'd give it huggies and kisses and let it go, and that was the end of her dream. And but yeah, and then had a woman in Florida contact me, said that she had a dream, and she said something about take care of Yucky, and make sure you tell Daddy to take care of her dogs and stuff. And the woman's asking me, what does Yucky mean? I says that was her dog named Lucky. She couldn't say Lucky, so we called it Yucky, and that's how they got its name. She couldn't pronounce it Lucky.
That's awesome.
I'm seeing some of your comments. So a thing I keep thinking too with the whole him having this dream and the construction site, I was thinking the same thing a lot of you were thinking, like, oh my gosh, what if he took her to one of the construction sites? What if there's an abandoned building somewhere he's keeping her there, But I would think law enforcement has already checked all of that stuff. I mean, checking his last locations on his phone, his GPS record of where were the last 5 places he was going recently. I'm still holding on to that data, but I do understand a lot of those comments I'm seeing. It did raise a red flag for me too.
I had a dog named Lucky.
Yeah. Wow. And then there was a woman in Canada had a dream that she was sitting there on a bench with a swing on a porch, and she says, can I tell you a secret? She says, I miss my daddy. I used to stroke her hair and tell her I love her. And I told her that's what I used to do that all the time. And I never heard from her again after that. But, I mean, how would she know that? Summer says, can I tell you a secret, But that's what makes me think that she could possibly be gone, in some of her last thoughts. Because, when you're in a bad situation, some of the thoughts you have before it's over, or whatever, like that. It might be something like that, I don't know.
Yeah. But
nobody's had any dreams, and I haven't had no dreams. Candace had a dream today that people were out to kill her and were chasing her everywhere, but I says, well, that ain't too far-fetched.
Yeah, there's...
I don't know. That part is just interesting to me about what he's saying about the dreams. And again, there he goes. Candace had a dream today that people were out to kill her and were chasing her everywhere. I said, well, that ain't too far fetched. Yeah. Yeah. That's why, like I'm saying, I am, even though they're quiet, I don't think that's a bad sign. That means to me, I'm taking that they're working on everything. They, data, everything. They're looking into all of that stuff. And they're watching this interview. They have a team watching social media. They're probably in the groups. They're watching Donald stuff. They're watching Candace stuff. For the most part, Candace is quiet on social media. It's Don that just won't shut the hell up. He just keeps going and going and going and going. And he says that then he'll say he's stopping and then he just continues going. Hey, little miss, how are you today? Yeah. Let me see what you said. I heard. So little miss says, I heard this woman from Canada commented on his Facebook profile picture from a long ago, and that's how she found out the part. Yeah, that's what I was hearing too, because people were wondering, well, how would she know? But like Little Miss is saying that this woman commented on the profile picture that he had, and there was a part about yucky lucky. No, it does make sense because I seen that too. So people were saying, well, that's how this person said that dream, that's how she knew the dog's name because it was already on Donald's it was on their social media already. She says, you all are are you from that area? Where is that comment? She said, you guys are giving law enforcement in this area way too much credit. Are you from there? Yeah, possible. Candace could be quiet because maybe Dawn knows even and doesn't let her, knows that she is a weak link when it comes to talking. She might break.
Help me understand, where you're at right now internally in terms of just Don dealing with, a lot of the moving parts and, stuff like that.
I'm really tore up. I loved her with all my heart. She loved me with all her heart. I couldn't believe somebody could love me like that and look up to me like that.
And why is that? Help me understand that.
I don't know why she loved me so much because nobody else in this world ever loved me like that. Like that.
In your past, well, walk me through why you feel that way.
Well, because when my parents divorced when we were kids, both of them got married.
I just want to give a trigger warning because it's going to go into the whole essay topic right now. So I just want to, and I'm not going to really get into this topic today. We did that last live. We talked about it. And yeah.
And we had step parents. Our step parents hated us. And when my mom went with my stepdad, well, they need, it was just really mean. My stepdad kept me away so he could molest my sisters. Then I didn't know why he hated me and why he loved my.
Okay, so that part really threw me off when I heard it. And I don't know if any of you guys caught that, but when Donald says that, because when we learned of this essay on his stepsister, and then we learned the ages were 5 and 12. So she was 5, Donald would have been 12 because they said there's a 7-year difference. I immediately thought, gosh, 12 years old, he himself is young. And I was wondering, where did he learn that behavior? Was he a victim to abuse, or did he witness the abuse? And then when, or was it just Don in his head that was just sick? And when I seen this, and Don says that, he says, when my parents divorced when we were kids, he says, both of them got married and we had step parents. And our step parents hated us, he says. And when my mom went with my stepdad, well, they were just really mean. My stepdad kept me away so he could molest my sisters. And then I didn't know why he hated me and why he loved my sisters so much. And that comment really bothered me, because sometimes you will hear when victims have been essayed from their father, I don't want to say a lot, but I've heard them say that the father would tell them, this is a way to show your love to me. Don't you love your father? Just like with priest, they say, this is what God would want, stuff like that. So hearing Don say this is really alarming to me, that he is saying that his stepdad molested his sisters, and he didn't understand why his stepdad hated him, and why he loved his sister so much. So in my mind, I'm wondering, and this is my opinion, if Donald in his mind thinks this is a way of showing love. I don't know. It just was really alarming, this whole part right here, what he says. And that, why his stepdad, who was molesting his sisters, allegedly, sorry, I should say that, allegedly, why did he love them so much? That is not love. And I think that's why, for me personally, my opinion, when Don talks about this love with Summer, it makes me a little uncomfortable, to be honest with you guys, just based off of his past, and then, hearing this comment by him. But again, that's just my opinion with it. Yeah, Little Miss, he does. He's going to do it right now.
My sister so much, and my dad, my stepmom hated me, didn't want me around, and my stepsisters and all them hated me too.
And who's that? Who are they?
Jeannie and all. I mean, not all of them, but they wanted me out of the picture so they could build money from my dad, which they've done all these years. But so they were constantly called the cops on me and everything. Just Candace keeps trying to call me. I call her back here in a little bit. But it's been nothing but hey. Then my dad, he kind of turned on me too to make her happy. It made her happy that it made her happy that he treated me like the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, they've made a lot of. I've read your stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like they said a bunch of stuff about you. What did they say?
Well, Dad was going to leave me his house so I could move back to Utah when he died. And ever since then, and see too, I don't understand. Trish is Jeannie's daughter, and she claimed that I raped her and the other girl. I can't remember her name. I don't even know who it is. I know I'm related to them through step family, but they claimed that I did all this stuff, and and if they said anything, I was going to kill them and all that, and they didn't. Why? I don't understand why after all these years, Summer gets gone and automatically they turn on me, but I chalk it up to Dad was going to give me the house.
Okay.
And they, are just tactics to keep me away. And I told him, I think through Facebook or whatever, I'll never call my dad again. I'll never talk to him again. You can have it all. You guys can fight over it. So, the last time I talked to my dad, my sister was there. She handed him the phone, and I never talked to anybody else, and that was it. So I won't call their number because stepmom calls them and tells them everything.
Is that you said, what was her name?
My stepsister is Jeannie.
Jeannie. And
we did have a relationship when we were younger.
And what was?
And she's just as guilty as I am. So she's trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes, like she's Miss Innocent and all this and that. Well, she's not.
Walk me through that. Help me understand.
I would rather not, but so we kind of had a relationship when we were younger. Yeah, I was a bit older. I had a dirt bike. I don't know how old I was exactly, but she started dating her cousin, which was about 12 years old at that time. And ever since then, she just wanted me out of the picture. Ever since then. And it started all this hateful stuff ever since then.
And how old were you?
I don't know. Maybe 15. I don't know.
And how old was she?
I don't know. She was a lot younger than me. And I thought this, and I remember thinking this, why would I didn't think it was right, but I was too young.
Okay, so where he says that she was younger than him, and he remembered thinking, wow, I didn't think it was right. And she was 5. She was 12. Okay. And there is no being in a relationship with a 5-year-old. Okay. There is no being in a relationship with a 5-year-old. And she is not at fault here. She was 5 years old. Okay. And this is what's scary, is that in Don's mind, how he sees things. And I'm sorry, I have no sympathy. There's no going back. You touch a hair on a child, you steal their innocence. There's just no going back from that. And I'll deal with that with God myself. I just don't have anything. I don't know. There's just none. So I know some people say, well, they can change, and no, I'm sorry. I don't care. My opinion is that's disgusting. And you took her innocence from her and caused major damage. And it's just odd how Don sees it. He says they were in a relationship. And he even says she was a lot younger. And I was even thinking, wow, I don't think this is right. And it's just gross when he brings up the whole motorcycle bike, because she also brings that up. And it's disgusting. Sorry, guys.
To understand how girls are too.
Walk me through that. When you say you didn't think it was right, what were you guys?
Well, because she was younger. Because she was younger. No, she would play with my thing, and I would play with hers. And that's about it.
Okay. And how long did that go on?
I don't know. For a little while or whatever, but like when everything changed.
And who's Ronnie?
She ended up marrying him and having kids. That's her cousin.
And what about this other person you mentioned, Tish? What's her name?
Her daughter's name was Trish. And the last time I seen her, she was just a little girl. And then the other girl, I'm not sure who she even is.
Okay.
I don't know. They're all family. Oh, hey, my guts.
Right.
That's fine. They don't want me around Dad. That's fine. Whatever. So I just don't call.
And you say they come.
There was a comment saying, "How do we know the age difference?" Trish is like he's saying that's his stepsister's daughter. She did an interview with Tiffany Marie, and she goes into how old her mom was when it started, and she said her mom was 5 when it started. Then we learned from the age difference between them two from the interview room. I believe it was Chris who said it, the 7-year difference, which he would have been 12. And then it went on, and then it stopped at a certain age because he went away because of prison, and then he came back and it started again. So again, I don't even know what to say.
Come after you now? What do you mean?
No, as far as I know, they haven't come after me. My sister tried to defend me, but I just told them I'll never call my dad again. That's fine.
Okay.
So as far as I know, they're not. I don't need all that bullshit. Even though it's bullshit,
is your dad still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive, but he's like 85. So.
Okay.
I'm sure they're all getting a big fight over that house when he dies.
And where are they at?
Utah.
What's up with the water in Utah?
Yeah, they have no water this year.
Yeah,
they didn't. They got reservoirs everywhere, and they usually get snowpack, and every spring it fills up all the reservoirs. But they didn't get no rain or snow last year.
Yeah, no, I know. It's like everything is like a low level than historically.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
It is.
And so I heard that people are throwing you under the bus on when Candace came out and people went, "Oh wow."
Told you guys have to remind me when I'm talking, and I didn't hit unmute. So this is the last portion of it is just him going over, what's going to be expected from the, when he brings this out and all the backlash and all that stuff. I seen a comment. So I think I seen the comment where it says about his son. So Donald's son also has, the girl was 14 and Donald's son was 19. So maybe that's why you're getting a little confused with the ages and stuff like that. So this Donald here, essay his stepsister when she was 5, he would have been 12. Then Donald's son, and that's on record, his son, you can look that up. She was 14 and he was 19, I believe. But when Don was asked about his son, I believe it was from the guy who did the Times News interview. And Don made it seem like they were a year difference. I think, or like 2-year difference or something like that. Don totally downplayed it, but in reality, his son probably downplayed it to him. So it just seems like everybody, it's like a domino effect in this family. You have Don saying that allegedly, his stepfather was essaying his sisters. Then you have Donald doing that to his stepsister. Then you have Donald's son, being involved in a relationship doing that with a 14-year-old, and he was 19. It just seems like, and that's why a lot of people are now, when you learn all this information, a lot of people are, I know I'm even more worried of what was going on behind closed doors with Summer. I'm going to be honest, with all this information. It's just like, Trauma, did you do one? I would love to see it. Yeah, green B52s, exactly. There's a reason it's the R word. I agree. And as for Trish, the stepsister's daughter. I'm not sure about that whole situation, what happened with that. That's still unclear. So I don't know about that. Hey, Caroline. Yeah. The thing though with me with the whole 14-year-old, because I have seen comments where people are like, "Oh, well, she was 14, maybe she consented and all that," and I just say, think of your 14-year-old. Are you okay with her even doing that with a 15-year-old? No, but just think, would you be okay with her doing that with a 19-year-old? I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe because I have my girls. I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, no. What is gross is that Don said they were in a relationship. That in his mind, he thought he was in a relationship with his stepsister. Tiffany Marie. Can one of my mods link Tiffany Marie's channel? She did the interview with Trish, who is um, the step sister's daughter. She did the interview, and she goes into a lot of that. We talked about it last live. That's why I'm trying not to talk too much about it, because it's hard to, and I don't want to trigger anybody more than they have been triggered, and I don't want to be triggered either. Yeah, learned behavior for sure. And that's something that Chris also talked about in the last interview he did. Remember that learned behavior? Yeah, and there's the missing little boy, Michael, who goes by Monkey. Hi, Scott. Thank you, Amber. Yeah, so you can find that that interview on Tiffany Marie's channel. Let me see. Let me see. In Tennessee, you say? Let me see. I'm gonna check and see. Body found in a field at Bradley County Farm. Is that the one? No. Oh, yeah, it is. um, oh, so they're not saying anything, just that a decomposed human body at the was found. And they're gonna. Yeah, MSB. And then if you remember, he called her little lady. And I know that's not a big deal, but with everything we've heard now, I'm just like, yeah, 56. I believe you're right, because I did I looked him up. I think he is 56. No identity yet, no. Yeah, there's a boy missing. Let me see if I have everything ready on. Let me just show you guys his little flyer if I have it on here. I know I have it on my phone. Do I have it on here? Give me 1 second, guys. But the little boy went missing from Idaho. And I'm actually working on a video for that one. All right, hold on. Let me open that up. Hold on, guys. I know. Hold on, guys. Gmail. Let me see. Okay, let me share this really quick with you guys. Hold on, I'm not looking at chat right now. You guys give me 1 second. Let's see. Let's stop sharing that screen with you guys really quick. Okay, hold on. Okay. Let me just share this really quick with you guys. I've been sharing it with you guys on my community page a lot. And it's a video I'm working on. So we have Michael Joseph Vaughn. Now, he was reported missing. Do we have it on here? I believe it was the 27th. He was last seen on SW 9th Street in Fruitland, Idaho. Now, he was wearing a light blue Minecraft shirt, size 4 to 6. He had black spandex boxer briefs with a lime green trim and a lime green Minecraft character creeper, and then dark blue flip-flop size 11. Now and you know what? Everybody keeps saying this. This looks like it could be Summer's twin. I think even like the description, besides him being a boy, is so similar. It's so scary to me. But again, age 5, he's a male, Caucasian, 3 feet. He weighed about 40 to 50 pounds. His hair color, was blonde. And then his I'm so sorry I said that. His eye color is blue and his hair color is blonde. He also goes by the name MJ or Monkey. So this is another one, he's another one that's missing right now. It's insane. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I know we talked topics that are so heartbreaking. But I'm glad you are enjoying the channel. I appreciate that. Oh, Carmen, you just made my day with your comment. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up right now because I just got a text. My daughter is up now. Remember I told you she stood home. She wasn't feeling good. So she's like, I'm up. I'm like, your dad is out there. Oh my gosh. They're so funny. All right, guys. So again, thank you guys for being here with me. We need to do a live, you guys, where we have open panel. I keep saying that, but then an interview happens and then we have to discuss it. We definitely need to do an open panel. I really want to see what you guys think and what you guys are saying and just being able to talk to you guys in chat. I hate that I can't really just focus on chat because I'm busy sharing stuff with you guys or going through all my notes, my plenty of notes I have in this I actually had to buy 2 new little notebooks. But again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for just talking these cases with me. I know it's triggering and I know they're hard to talk about, but again, Summer's face needs to continue being put out there. I'm going to work on the video for Michael and it'll be up tomorrow. I might do it as a premiere so we can just discuss things with it. But yeah, let's just pray for both of them. Mary, thank you so much. No, BG, thank you for being here. And thank you to my mods. My mods are doing amazing. I know there's some crazy stuff going in chat, a lot of negativity. And I understand. Emotions are high with everybody. I get it. But at the end of the day, we don't know what happened, you guys. So all we can do is talk about what's given to us, either through law enforcement or the family. Obviously, the family is giving us a lot right now to discuss. So, Dad was changing little sis diaper. All were inside, and he was just gone, according to Dad. Yeah. So, Dad was changing the little one, and it seems by what's being said that, Michael got out. It wasn't the first time he was able to get out. He's done it before. And a couple of neighbors seen him. The last one to have seen him, he was running down the street, and he's just missing now. So I actually I went and looked to see exactly what the address was, and I wanted to see what the surrounding area was like. And there's a lot of open space. It just makes you wonder, how far can he have gotten? So I personally think with this one, I'm really wondering if someone that lives in maybe not the next blocks or anything like that. It could be, a few blocks down or somewhere, but was this just an opportunity? They seen him by himself walking and they got him. I mean, I don't know, but it's just, this one is really heartbreaking. The whole circumstances around it. Mom was at work allegedly. Dad was home. It's just heartbreaking. All right, guys, I need to go. I need to go do mom stuff and deal with my little sicky poo over here. I need to do that, but I will talk to you guys soon. Again, thank you guys all for being here with me. You all are amazing. I think the people that interact with the chat, except for the people that can handle the discussion, I think you guys are all amazing. And we usually have really good times just chatting about these cases here. So again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you to my mods. And thank you to the new members. We need to do a members only live soon. We definitely need to do that. We haven't done one in a while. But yeah, I know this whole case is confusing. Yeah, crime of opportunity is what I'm getting with this one. Again, it's really soon with this one, but I'm kind of leading to that, to be honest with you, for sure with this one. The thing I am waiting to hear from is, and law enforcement hasn't said, and with this case for sure, law enforcement is really remaining quiet. I think they've done 2 briefings so far, I believe. But I do wonder where the scent dog ended up at. Did it end down the street? Did it end in the yard? Like, that's what I would like to know, is where the scent ended for him, because that can lead me down a certain direction, what I'm thinking. Francis, I say after this, we're going to need therapy. We're going to need something, honey. Lori, thank you. Yeah, thank you for saying that. I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. Yesterday, she had a cold. We went swimming the day before, and we were out there till like 7. It's still daylight here, in Arizona, and still hot. The weather is really crazy. But she woke up the next day with a little cold. But she didn't have no fever or anything. So I sent her to school. And, with COVID, they're very strict. So they're like, if she gets fever, she can't come. So last night she came home, and around 4:00, she was sleeping. And when your kid is sleeping that early, something's up. So I knew she was not feeling good, and I felt her, and she had temperature. So she slept it off. And I tried to wake her up for dinner, but she didn't want to get up. She was tired, and her dad's like, let her sleep it off. So she slept, and then in the morning when she woke up, she didn't have fever, but I'm like, she didn't eat dinner. She's probably going to feel weak. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep her home for the safe side. So kept her home today. And her dad's here too with her, and yet I'm still doing everything. Yeah, rest is the best. Yeah. And I'm over there trying to wake her up, and he's like, no, just let her be, let her be, let her just sleep it off. Sweet Pea, don't ask me that question. How old what is Michael or my child? Michael is 5 years old. Mine, she's 11. I keep saying she's 10. She's 11. She's still my baby though. She's definitely the baby. We always do everything, I swear. Dad will be right there being like, do you want some water? Telling her, you know? And she'll be like, no, I'm okay. And then 2 seconds later, Mom, can you give me water? I'm like, what? And what do? There I go. No, I'm no longer in California, honey. No longer. Born and raised there. You guys all know I was born and raised in Southern California. That's where my heart is always. I miss the beaches so much, but I do go out there. Yeah, I know. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys again for being here with me. Tomas is in the house. What? Hello, Tomas. Where are you? I seen someone say hi to you. So yeah, hello. Monica's in the house. I didn't even see her here either. Hello, love. How are you? Yeah, but you know what? It's a lot of work being a mom, but the way I see it too, though, one day they're just not going to want us around. So I enjoy it. Where are you leaving to, Art, next month? Where are you going? You know what, Julie? I thought that too. I honestly, in the beginning, was thinking that maybe Summer got upset and she went and she run and she hit somewhere, maybe even in the shed. I was thinking that too. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she took off. I'm a Cali chick for sure. Texas is in the house. Oh, I know. That's what I was I've been reading up on that actually. Can Jan. I seen that. I did see that. All right, guys. So next live for sure, we're gonna have an open panel. We're gonna talk theories. Again, that's what we do here, guys. It's a discussion channel. That's what we do here. I don't understand why people get so upset over it. It's like, this is true crime community. This is what we do. So thank you guys for being here, though. Okay, I got to go for real. This is what I do. I just keep rambling. Thank you guys. All of you guys. Honestly, I adore all of you guys. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you guys have a good night, good evening, whatever time it is for you guys. Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm going to make a video tonight for Michael. I do want to start putting things out for him. He needs our attention. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of YouTubers are so emotionally and, attached to the Summer Wiles case. But for myself, I got to keep telling myself that this little boy, he needs our attention. So my next live will be about Michael, because I'm going to work on a video and it might be a premiere. So it might be up tomorrow because today's already Friday. Oh my gosh, today's Friday, guys. Oh my God. Our life is flying by us. Flying by us. We need a chill night, you guys. We need to plan a chill night where maybe Sunday we can squeeze in a chill night where it'll be less in chat and we'll be able to have a good discussion and just talk and laugh and have a margarita, maybe. I don't know, a whiskey. I don't know, something. So again, thank you guys for being here. So we have left in the house is Heather, Debbie, Amanda, D. I adore you, Sweet Pea, Diane. Let me scroll on up. John, as always, Huda Beauty, Monica. We got Mima Dragon, Francis, Julie Johnson. How are you? Julie, I need to email everybody today. I'm always saying that. Girl Interrupted, love the name. Heather, Tomas, I didn't even see you if you were here, if you just got here. Hola, hola, hola. We got Art. Who else do we got in the house still? Kanjan. It's going to let me go up just one more. And Scott. Okay, yeah. Sorry, guys. It only lets me go up so much. And the rest of you guys that are still here, all 362 of you that are still watching, thank you guys for choosing my channel to watch till the very end. I appreciate you guys. And we're almost at 15K. We're going to have to do some big giveaway with that for sure. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe that. So again, thank you guys. I appreciate you. And I will talk to you guys all soon. Bye, Dee. Bye, Felicia.